Hello, everybody, and welcome to the morning roast. I'm, of course, Sugar Chris, and with me is my guest, Mr. Keith Gleason.
Hey, thanks for having me, Chris.
Oh, no problem, sir. I don't know if Mr. Sim's going to be joining us. Haven't heard from him. He's probably over there snoozing, even though I told him we had a stream. Sloppy, sloppy. Either that or he's over there getting his coffee from Tim Hortons. He likes to brag about that over there. But we do have, most importantly, our chat host, Mr. Soul Ion. He says, "Welcome to the morning roast, where we poke the bear and take another gaze at mighty mascots. Shopping on stream is permitted. Sorry, look at that lunchbox, but no noodles." What's this, Keith in chat? Oh my gosh, Keith, he will not stop giving me hell. The other day, I ate on stream a thing of ramen noodles, and he's not stopped giving
Chris,
me.
I'm getting like I'm hearing the show um,
Oh,
like
you hear
almost
the show like in the background?
like an echo, like it's like a
Oh,
delay. Like I could hear the show as a delay.
oh, that's weird. Um,
I don't know what's
Let me mute
causing it.
myself and see if it stopped.
Let me see if that. Yeah, that stopped it. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what that could be. No, it's still a delay. I think.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay, is that any better?
Yes, that's perfect.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
good.
it was like I was hearing the show. It would you would Yeah, I think so. Oh, actually, no, it's still doing.
What? Hmm.
So I'll say something and then I'll hear it again in my headphones like 2 seconds later.
I wonder what's causing it. I don't have YouTube's. I don't have the show up in another tab. No, I don't. I,
Hmm.
don't- I don't have the microphone even plugged in. The only thing I have, so the only
Do you
audio
hear it? You
for the
don't
mic.
hear it, huh?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Man,
Maybe
that's
it's
weird. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm apparently boomering my setup here. That's weird. I was doing it like the same I always do. Wonder why it's different today.
Do you want me to I wonder if I leave if it'll do anything. Hang on, let me see. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, because the only tabs I got on is Facebook, Twitter. I got your website up. I got the Mighty Mascots campaign. I don't have the stream up, so that
Hmm.
could be an issue. Hmm. Soul saying Sim is an insomniac like yourself, so he's probably in a coma. Probably. Yeah, I'll just have to get one of his family to go wake him up, drag him out of bed. Soul's telling me to unplug all the cables. I did. I did. I don't know. Maybe if I plug in this blue snowball.
Does is the chat hearing the echo?
So let's. I don't know. Does anybody hear it in the chat? Let's see. Pale Rider's popping in for a second to promote his fake news videos. We got Amy's Birdhouse says everyone check your tabs. uh,
Hmm.
let's see.
Yeah, it's like a delay. So like I'll say something like I'm talking right now, and about 5 seconds later I'll hear the same thing I just said.
That's weird. Yeah, Amy says no. I don't hear an echo. Holy Ozone. Hello, hello. He says sounds good here.
Let me try leaving and I'll come back in. Let me see if that
Alrighty.
does anything.
Okay. Alrighty. Man, I haven't had to wear these headphones in like ages. This is weird. Gotta get used to them again. It's weird because they have that like noise cancellation, so I don't hear like anything outside. It's so odd. Uh, so say to Pale Rider, I'm always amazed at the effort you put into those. You can get Chris to say fake news for a lot less, you know. Uh, alrighty, sir.
All right. Let me see if that happened. That might be it. I'm not hearing. Okay, I think that might just have been on my end then. Maybe when I
Oh,
brought in or something.
oh, that's
Yeah,
weird.
now it's fine. Maybe that's all I needed to do. Okay, all right. Take 2, right?
We'll start over. Alrighty, but we got it figured out. Sorry, everybody.
So I didn't really hear anything when you started the show. I heard because it was echoing. I couldn't follow. I was like following. I felt like I was multiversal. I was hearing 2 different conversations there. So
you had one of me yelling in each ear.
yeah, right.
Oh,
Awesome. So how's it going, Chris? I'm glad we could finally get together.
it's going all right. Quick little notice to everybody in the chat. I'm sorry for not making it to the stream yesterday. I'm going to try to reschedule with the guest. I found out my great aunt died, and apparently she died on like the 13th, and I just found out. So
yeah, we talked about a little bit of that in the green room. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. And
yeah,
you were saying that she was almost like a second mother to you.
yeah, in a way, yeah. It was my great aunt May. I've talked about her on the streams previously. She was the one that gave me my first stack of comics, and I took a lot of influence from her. And,
That's awesome. What do you remember? What exactly was in that stack?
Oh yeah. It was a big stack. It had a bunch of Rogue Trooper in it. It had an old Metal Man.
Nice.
I have a bunch of them bookmarked because a lot of them, of course, I read until their covers fell off and
Yeah, I
ended
love
up having to
that.
throw them away.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
I've got to go rebuy a lot of them. But there was
I
a
love
metal.
that too. Like when you were growing up, like they always said, "Don't open your toys." But I love people that ripped open the action figures and just played that. You know what I mean? I love
Yeah.
that. And the same with comics. The more worn and torn it was, the better. You know?
Yeah, I still have some of them, but a lot of them I've got to rebuy and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I had some that was worth a few bucks out of that. It was a few
No, I
of them that was
believe
worth
it.
some
Yeah.
money.
What year was that? Do you remember?
It varied. Some of them were from the 70s. I had a couple from the 60s and then 80s. Like it was like 60s to like the 80s
That's
was
awesome.
from the stack I got. And it was some really good comics. I loved them.
I like the Metal Men a lot. They were like a little bit of
I
an
love the Metal
influence
Men.
on my book, Mighty Mascots. I love that weird team, kind of dynamic.
Mm-hmm. I loved them because they were so much fun.
Yeah.
Like they were just fun. It wasn't all dark and dreary. But it wasn't like at the same time, like they had some pretty heavy storylines too. Like the book I had involved like the death of kids and stuff. I was like, oh my
Oh,
god.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, if I remember right, yeah, because it was like the brain children or something like that. And they were
I
like
always
these
liked
like
Mercury. Like he was my favorite of the Metal Men.
yeah, but the metal men were so fun and light and whimsical, but then there was these like brain children that were like smart and had like superpowers, but then like they were like dying and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
it made me
weird.
sad at the end.
Yeah, but that's
Oh.
do you remember what year that was, or what series that was? Because Metal Men have had so many series. Like, was that the one in the 80s?
Let me see. Metal Men.
I've read various versions of Metal Men, and yeah.
There it is. There it is. Metal Men number 52, featuring the Brain Children, 1977.
Oh, nice. 1977, huh? That's awesome.
Yeah.
They didn't care back then though. They were they were doing wild storylines, I love that. We don't get that kind of they would be afraid to do that storyline today, I bet,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would involve them dying. Because I remember it was like for young me, it was like,
Oh,
whoa.
what the heck?
But at the same time, I found it so much fun and stuff because like the metal men were like all like kind of happy, and fun, and the girl like had a thing for the doctor. And
Yeah.
she was
Yeah,
trying to
what
like
was the
smooch
girl's
on
name?
him.
Was it Platinum? No, they all had it was like
Yeah,
tin, platinum, gold, right? They all had like their. Mercury is my favorite, and then the doctor was Will Magnus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Doc Magnus.
Dr. Magnus. I forget the girl's name though. Was it Tin? I don't know. I'd have to look it up again, but
Yeah, there was like 10
or no,
Mercury.
which one was the big dumb one was like 10 or something, right? Or I don't remember. I don't
Yeah,
the names
it's
are
been so long since I read them.
but they're great characters. I even did you ever watch that Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon? They were on there a couple times and it was really fun to see
I
them
watched a
on
few episodes
animation.
of it.
Yeah, I loved seeing them in animation, especially. And they did the Doom Patrol too, but it was like the old school Doom Patrol, the before Grant Morrison one.
Yeah.
And that was cool to see that. And that was that. If anyone hasn't seen that cartoon, that was awesome. That was like pure comics to me, you know.
Yeah, I've bought some of the old, like 60 or I think like the 60s Metal Men where they're fighting like giant robots and stuff.
Yeah, I love
I was
that
like, oh,
stuff.
this is so great.
Yeah,
I love
that's
this.
great. Yeah, they should. I would love to see Metal Men brought into like a real animated cartoon on its own. I think it would be awesome, you know.
Thank you, Holy Ozone. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, it's been rough this one. Like losing Dad 5 years ago kind of toughened me up, I guess, when it comes to loss, because that was by far very hard to go through.
Yeah,
So
and we
I'm
were talking
handling it a
about
lot
that.
better, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of like.
And I was telling you a
still
little
hitting
bit
hard.
about mine with my father. It was rough because it was like 2 weeks into the campaign launch back in God, was that August? I think August. Yeah, August. And yeah, so that was a little, you know, I knew, you know, my father, he was sick, but I didn't know how close to the end he was because, you know, I would go over there, try to go over there, you know, once or twice a week, and you know, it didn't look like it was that bad. We knew that, you know, he was probably not going to be around, you know, in a year or two, but I didn't think it was going to be that quick, you know, and it was just, yeah, it was like instantly, you know, once you hit that one part and it just went downhill, you know. But yeah, so that kind of sucked, you know. So I totally know what you're going through, you know.
Yeah, Dad, he got liver cancer.
Okay.
And we didn't know about it until because he kept it. I think he knew something was wrong, but he hid it because he didn't want to go to the doctor. He didn't want to be a burden. So when they finally found out something was up, Mom made him go. And that's when we found out he had liver cancer. And I remember thinking, like, well, they say liver cancer is like, you know, not as bad as the others, and you know, maybe he'll pull through. He'll pull through. You know, medicine's pretty advanced nowadays, and and I thought at the very least, you know, once he got in there and a little bit of time, I was like, well, at least we'll get like some time with him, like 6 months, you know, or something like, or a year. We'll get to spend with him for things get too bad or he passes.
Yeah.
He was gone in like a month.
Oh man, that's quick.
He never left the hospital. And it just went all through him. And yeah, it got really bad and it was hard to see him like that. But I stayed with him every day.
Well, that's nice. At least you got, I guess, to spend time with him. Were you there when he passed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with us. We got the call like that night. It was like 2 a.m, I think. And they were like, you guys better come. I think this is gonna be it. So we all went there, and then I think he passed like around. It was like, oh yeah, actually 11 on the dot when he went. You know.
Yeah.
I remember looking at the clock and it was like 11 right at the, you know, just turned 11 literally. I was like it was almost like on a time crunch or something, you know. But yeah, it was rough, you know. That was like, yeah. I hear you, man. My father had something, some kind of blood thing, and then it kind of turned into leukemia, and then you know, they were giving him blood constantly, and then he fell at home, and then they brought him into the hospital, and then you know that was it. He never came out of there. It was like 3 weeks after that, you know. So yeah, sad stuff, you know. Life. The parts of life you hate, you know.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. What's everybody saying?
We're
Condolences.
bumming out everybody.
Yeah, probably.
We
Yeah.
gotta get back to comics.
Perar says he's helping at a barbecue contest today.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Nice. Yeah. Make me some.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to help out, help myself out.
My
You know.
gosh. But we've got, gosh dang it, people, dang on it. All right. So I know you've got the Mighty Mascots. You still got it on Indiegogo.
I do. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I've actually backed it myself. No, I haven't.
Have you read
my
it?
latest issues? Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, so you bought me back the first campaign that
Yeah.
you did. Yeah, awesome.
I got the cool little cereal box and stuff.
Oh, great, man. Isn't that cool? There's a cool little
I was like, that is so cool. It even has like a cutout mask and everything. I was like, that is
Frankie
so
did the art for the front, which I think was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool how that turned out.
Yeah, I think so too. It was fun designing that thing. Like I was, buying other cereal boxes so that I could see what they did, with the nutritional facts and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of took a lot from, I think, Cheerios and some other ones, as far as the layout and the design, but it came out great. Yeah. I love that. People see it at conventions. They're like, is there cereal in there? And like, I get that all the time. Like, you guys should make some cereal. And I was like, I try to explain to them that, like, I only do conventions, maybe I do like 8 to 10 a year, but it's like, you got to worry about expiration dates and food poisoning and all that stuff. So, I was thinking maybe to buy some at like a BJ's or something and then just put like a whole bag in there, but I haven't done it yet, so.
Let's see. So says, by the way, I've noticed that the puppet on the campaign looks a lot like our Mike Jimmy. Oh, okay. Yeah, the character not so much, but the puppet might work for food.
I don't know who that is, but that's great.
Mike Jimmy De Bruin. He does a book called Life on Korra.
Okay.
He was actually streaming just a little while ago. I don't know if he still is. Let me check real quick.
He has his own channel.
Yeah, he does he's on the Indie Comics Network.
Oh,
with like Randy Zimmerman and all.
Yeah.
And he was just streaming on there doing a sketchy Saturday.
Oh, awesome.
Him and some of the other folks. I was listening in a little bit. Let me scroll down here and find that puppet he's talking about.
I think it's up further actually.
Did I scroll past it?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
And it's on one of the perks.
Oh, on the perks here. Let me scroll through the perks. Oh, there's that cool lunchbox. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it looks good too. Looks good in person.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. Oh, Captain Honeyflakes.
Yeah. So my wife, who's in the chat, Amy's Birdhouse, she actually makes puppets. She made that one. So like we have a Honeyflakes puppet that we bring to conventions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, well, put it on the campaign. I'll make another one. And, so she offered to make one. It's a little pricey. So we didn't, no one's really pulled the trigger on it yet. But she builds these things from scratch. They're really cool.
Wow,
she's done that one.
Neat.
She's done a bunch of like little Muppet type ones, And,
I remember there for a hot minute, I seen a bunch of like comic book creators doing like puppets on their YouTube channels. I was like, well, hey, there you go.
Yeah,
we get that trend going. She might start making money.
Yeah, right. I thought about doing a puppet show or something on the channel, but like it's funny. I did a short with one at a convention, and that one did pretty good as the shorts video. I thought it'd be funny if he was trying to sell to people and people were just giving him excuses not to buy the comic. so we just did a video of that. It was really funny. But I think I might do more of those, because like I had all the people that showed up to say something be like actual artist friends and writer friends and stuff, and it turned out pretty funny. So, but it's a very cool item that I don't think you see on a lot of campaigns or anything.
Yeah, I mean that is one thing that's nice. Your campaigns always have some unique stuff that fits the theme and flavor spirit of
thanks.
what your comic is. You know, like
Yeah,
the cereal box and lunchbox.
yeah.
You know?
I try to do some things a little different than other campaigns. You know, you can only get so many stickers and, you know, bookmarks and things like that. So it's just I try to do a couple little different things, you know. The problem with the campaigns though, you have to find that balance between you know, having a cool item and but also the realities of shipping stuff, you know. So it's just trying to find, you know, things that'll work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the puppet is one screen deck. All right, I found it. It's right there. Go down.
I should go get it. It's over in it's over in the other room somewhere. But yeah, this thing's great.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
We used it in the campaign video too. I don't know if you watched the campaign video.
Yeah,
It's in the
okay.
campaign video.
I'll go ahead and play it. I'm surprised Soul ain't fussed at me about the trailer yet.
Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleashed!
Yeah, that's awesome.
My wife handed them to me there.
Oh, did look at that.
So he's on like a little like stand here, or else I would take him off. But yeah, really cool though.
Yeah,
it came out really well good. Done. You know, the details are really good on it. You know.
Yeah, it looks really well done, and it looks
He's even got like
fairly
the little,
big
like,
size too.
yeah, he's like a very, you know, really decent size.
Yeah.
But yeah, we bring him to conventions and put him on the table. Kids love seeing that, you know. Yeah, it's great
I mean,
stuff.
When I started doing like the crowdfunding stuff, back in and everything, you know, I remember Alterna did their Halloween thing. I think it was the first
like
one they ever did.
was it Alternaween or something?
Yeah,
like that?
I think it was the first one, and I think that's where I first seen Mighty Mascots.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It was either that or the first campaign. I can't remember, but it stood. I was like, "Oh, this looks like so much fun."
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. I was trying to, you know, capture the fun of like the Saturday morning cartoon era, you know?
Yeah.
Like where kids you would get up, watch those cartoons, eat a big bowl of cereal, watch Spider-Man and his amazing friends, you know, the stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was what I was trying to distill into the comic, you know.
And
I did go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The crowdfunding has been very hit or miss. There's been some books I'm very like, oh man, that wasn't very good. But this was one that got me kind of into the crowdfunding. I'm like, okay, this is good stuff. You know, like this and Merry Boys and some of the other books I've gotten.
Yeah, that was a good one. I've read that one.
Yeah, I was like, these are really good stuff. You know, I'm glad I started doing crowdfunding because I found these books, you know, and so I'm very happy to have backed your book back then.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. I don't have any youngins of my own, and my niece is all grown up now, but if I ever do have any, you know, I'll have Mighty Mascots to show them.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, they don't make comics like that anymore. You know,
No.
When I talk about Mighty Mascots, I tell people too, like I'm just kind of channeling, besides the Saturday morning cartoons, but I'm just channeling the stuff I grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
like the 70s and 80s when I was reading Spider-Man and Batman and stuff. Like they used to make comics for everybody to read, like all
Yeah.
ages, literally, And nowadays you got to check, you got to, like, you almost got to do like a content check on like a Superman
Mm-hmm.
comic to make sure it's okay for a kid.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you got to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's wild to me. Growing up like I did with stuff from all those old comics and stuff, it amazes me how things are now. Like
Right? Yeah.
they're so focused on like collectors and like these like old, I guess older people, I guess, and I don't know, and collectors that they're completely neglecting like the kids, and they're trying to get into places where kids would, kind of notice them. It seems
Yeah,
like.
yeah, exactly. And it's like you look at what kids are into. They like comics, like,
Yeah.
because Dogman's huge, and manga, and
Yeah,
it's like,
manga's blown up.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, how are they not looking into so I think the problem is that they're not looking into how kids are getting into those
Yeah.
things. If they did, they could figure out a way to market to them.
Mhm.
But like the other problem I think with the modern comics is they don't write them like the way Stan Lee and the Marvel guys used to write them, where
Yeah.
Stan Lee always said like every comic it could be somebody's first comic, and that's why he always wrote Spider-Man with, where if you just picked up a random issue you could still follow it. There would be like soap opera threads, but they weren't like prominent the way they are now, like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah,
no one
like
writes that way.
yeah, I mean, all those comics I got back in the day, those were just random issues. I didn't yeah, but yet I still had the idea of what the story was and what was happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
And I know
nowadays,
Pete's
if
big
you
on
pick
that
something up,
too.
you wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like Alterna, like, speaking of them, like Pete's big on like having most issues be one and dones, and with some threads and things like that. And I don't know if all the guys are doing that, but I know he was always about that, so. And I don't blame him. I mean, that's the best way to get somebody into your book is, just the one and done kind of
Mhm.
format. I don't do that per se with Mighty Mascots, because I have a lot of, like, my first 3 issues were almost like a 3-parter, and then the 4, 5, and 6 were a 3-parter. And now these issues 7, 8, and 9. 7 is a standalone, but it also introduces a major character, and then 8 and 9 is a 2-parter. So I kind of like I find it hard to like contain like one story into one issue, because like I
Yeah.
always like to expand on it a little bit, and
I I
you
don't
know,
feel like you need to have everything be a one shot. I think it just feels like it doesn't have to be super complicated. Like, because if
right?
I can pick up like issue 2 and still have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah,
As long as it's not like some crazy complicated plot, I can pick up like, okay, this guy, he does this is his powers.
right,
You
right,
know,
right. Yeah, and you can kind of follow on what's going on there.
yeah,
And I guess that's true, because I try to write it like, even though it's within a storyline, I try to write that individual issue as like, here's the beginning, middle, and end of this part of the story.
yeah,
So yeah, so that is true. You can still write it in a way that people know what's going on, like reiterate some of the stuff from the previous issue, that kind of thing. And Stan Lee was a master at that,
hmm,
because you'd always be like, at the beginning of an issue, it'd be Spider-Man walking around, and he would just be like, gotta help Aunt May. But then he was like, if I didn't get bit by that radioactive, he would do it in a
yeah,
way that you could know what happened.
hmm.
So I feel people don't do that anymore.
Soul says 1 pitch, 2 trailer in that order. Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't do it properly for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
So I didn't get the pitch out of you first, Keith, before I said the
oh, okay.
trailer. That was my mistake.
Well, the quick and simple pitch is if you took a Saturday morning cartoon, jammed it with like a Justice League comic, and that is Mighty Mascots. It's it's serial mascots fighting crime, basically. It's the premise. And it's fun. It's focused on fun, and storylines aren't too deep. They're not complex. They're, stuff happens, but like you're not gonna have like someone being eviscerated. You know what I mean? It's made to be a true all ages book. I think the stuff they were producing in the 70s and 80s, where things could still happen, like someone could die, or but we like, even on the cover, if you scroll down a little more, Chris, the cover I show, there's a dead mascot on it right there. But I made the artists, I specifically said no blood, and put X's in the eyes, almost like a cartoon. But that just goes to show you that people can die in the comic. Hey, Devil Flyer, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, it gets the point across. Like, kids will know, like, oh, okay, this one's dead. But it's not like all like in their face and like, oh, it's so bad and grisly.
Right. But I wanted to do stuff like, because remember, like, you were talking with Metal Men earlier, it was the first time you saw it, like, did they just kill kids, but it was like done in a way that I bet there wasn't any blood in it. There wasn't,
No, it wasn't like that. Yeah.
I was thinking along the line, remember like seeing Robotech? Did you watch Robotech when you were a kid?
I got to see some of it, but not like a ton of it.
There was it's been so long, but one of the major characters dies halfway through that run, and it was like,
wow.
Oh my God, you never see that in a cartoon. But they didn't. It was not bloody at all, but it was just like a shocker when you were a kid. You were like, that never happens in a cartoon, like so. And even in a Batman the animated series used to get away with some stuff, So I kind of feel like my comic is that level of violence, like, so you could have some of that stuff. Lots of fisticuffs in the issues, which I love that. Like, I feel like modern comics don't do enough action anymore, because I love that about comics, like when they used to set up a big fight and then it would finally happen, I used to love that stuff,
Oh my gosh, I had a Power Man and Iron Fist comic that blew me away when I was a kid by how like heavy it was, like in tone. It was like there was basically this superhero, and he had like a traditional cape. He looked like a old school, like almost like Superman style.
Okay.
He had a cape and everything, and he had blonde hair, and he was like wanting like Power Man and Iron Fist to train him. Well, you find out it's actually a kid that like turns into this guy.
Okay, like a Shazam thing or a Captain Marvel thing.
Yeah, and he's going around, but he still has like his personality, the kid personality. And he's wanting them to train him, and when they kind of reject him, he gets mad and throws a kind of almost like a tantrum. And at one point he tries to help by trying to save this person and kind of bungles it. But you find out like he's so desperate to get them to train him because he's dying. Because whatever it was that gave him the powers, this like radiation or something, is like slowly killing him. So he's like, and the parents show up and everything, and they finally Iron Fist has to like use his Iron Fist and hit the kid, hit the transformed kid and knock him out because he's just being so like destructive, and it was like he didn't want to do it, but he had to, and then they end up taking him to Project Pegasus, I think it was. They take him there to like get him treatments, but they're like, he's gonna pass. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, wow. That sounds like a great issue.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh. And then as I got older and became like an adult, I was like, I wonder whatever happened to that character. Did he just kind of die off screen, or what happened? And then I found out, like, it turns out he's like a scroll or something, like a super scroll, and like all this stuff. And I was like, oh, come on now.
So they took like the power of that storyline away. That's what Marvel's great at doing that.
I was like, oh, come on. That was a serious, like, big moment. Like, and then you just kind of took it all away by making him just like a scroll, and oh no, he ends up being a bad guy and runs off or something. I was like, come on.
I feel like DC wouldn't have done that, but maybe they would have. I don't know. But no, I hate when they do that, man.
I was kind of like, oh man, I kind of wish I didn't know that.
Yeah. Sometimes it works out, because I remember like when they killed Jason Todd, and like then they brought him back, and I was just like, man, that just takes away the power of that sacrifice and the, him dying, and all that stuff. And then but they turned him into a cool Red Hood kind of character, so he's gotten better over time. But like, they often do that where they ruin like what came before.
Yeah, that's one thing I like to make, where they never brought back the original Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
They never really brought him back. I was like, I'm glad. Yeah, I always wanted to see him back because I loved that character. But at the same time, I was like, I'm glad they didn't. It was such a good ending.
Yeah,
stuff.
Definitely. Well, stick around. They may they may tap into that at some point.
Yeah, it's not over yet. They can always bring him back.
That's the problem with modern comics. They're just they're either too convoluted or I don't know. Like they mess it up a lot. They can't, like, I've been, I read a handful of modern stuff. Like, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite character. And so I thought I'd give this new run that just started, I think it's like 20 issues in now, a chance. So I read the first, I like the first 5 a lot. Like they were doing, they were bringing back stuff that I loved, and like way back in the day, like Spectacular Spider-Man. They brought Tombstone back and things like that.
Oh yeah,
the story was pretty good, and I was like, okay, I could get into this. The problem with Marvel though now, they can't let like 5 issues go by until Spider-Man has to be sucked into some event, and then all of a sudden the book becomes that event for like 4 months, and it was just like, you can't even get anything going. Like, you know what I mean?
Too many big world event things going on all the time. Like, just chill out and let it. Let us breathe.
Like they're afraid to let the book just be its own book for a while. Like, I mean, when we were reading back in the 80s, the book would go on for months and months and months before there was even an event. It could go for a couple of years, and you could build like nice storylines. They don't do that anymore, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, gosh, what was I going to say now? I can't remember. I've been seeing stuff about Spider-Man, and it seems like on Twitter, I'll see like people posting stuff with, I guess, recent Spider-Man things, and it seems like he's being dragged through the mud all the time, real bad.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang on.
Well, yeah, it's wild. Like, I don't know why they can't just let him. Or do the event somewhere else. Like, let the one book just be its own book. That's what I would rather that, but they're not going to do that. They're going to have to suck. They're going to try to build the sales up, but those like micro events really suck because they never have any impact whatsoever on the book. Like you get sucked into the storyline, and then by the end of it, nothing's changed. Nothing. It's right back to the status quo again. And it's just like, why do the event then?
Yeah, if it doesn't change nothing, why do it?
Yeah. Just I don't like.
I had seen a series a while back where it was like Spider-Man, Mary Jane, and they were married, and they had a kid, a little girl, and and he was being like a dad, and so I'm like, why couldn't we have had that? Why couldn't we have let Peter grow and stay married with Mary Jane and have a kid, and he's teaching her the ways, and he's being a dad? Like, that'd be great.
Yeah, they don't like when characters grow, like I think that was Quesada's big thing when he first got rid of the marriage and all that, which they did in a dumb way. But and that got me off the book for years. Like, I never read it. I probably dropped Spider-Man for at least 10 years at that point. And then this new one that came around, I was like, I don't know this writer. And I saw John Romita Jr. was back on the book. And I was like, let me give this a shot because I like John Romita's art.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pleasantly surprised with it. But they've already messed it up, 6 issues into the book with those events. It just drives me nuts. So
that's something I like about manga. They let their characters grow, die.
And it's
when
one
they die,
thing you
most
buy.
of the time they stay dead.
Yeah. and you only get to buy this one thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's what I love
there's
about
no like all
manga.
these other books you gotta get. Like it's
Right.
just there you go.
And it's like a
And they're
thick,
usually decently
usually like
affordable
a what,
too.
300 pages for like $10.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a great price. Like
No
like,
wonder
you
it's
can't beat
killing
that.
everything.
Yeah.
You know? It's if you want some reality, just walk into a Barnes and Noble. Like you'll see, like there's like
Mhm.
I went in not too long ago. There's like 1 or 2 shelves of Marvel, DC Image, IDW, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then about 10 shelves of manga. I mean, that's all that needs to be said. You know, all these people that are like Western comics aren't dying. I mean, that's proof in the living flesh, you know.
Yeah. Like the bookstore down at the mall about 45 minutes away has like one like I guess bookshelf thing of Western, and then like the rest like down
Right, it's
way
all
down is all
manga.
manga.
Yep.
Like they have their own dedicated like big display thing in the middle of the store for just manga, just all both sides all the way down, and then
Yep.
Western stuff gets one little bookshelf.
Yeah, and the other thing manga's doing now that's really nice too, which I like, is they'll take like 3 or 4 volumes of the the regular
Yeah.
series, and they'll put them in these nice hardcovers and
Mhm.
blow the pages up a little bit, and it charges, I don't know, I think they charge like $30. But I was like, that's nice. They
it's
look like
really
these nice
affordable.
tomes, you know. What's
Yeah,
that?
like when you do the math, like it's cheaper to get those 3-in-1s than it is to get them separate.
Yeah, yeah.
And they come in a nice, like you
Nice
said, nice
cover,
hardcover.
yeah.
Like I got the
And the
Berserk.
pages are bigger. Like they make the book a little bigger. Like so
Yeah.
like you see the art really nicely, you know.
Yeah, I got the Berserk and the Hellsing one over
I
there.
love both of those animes. I've read some of the Berserk comic too, the manga.
I'd like to get like if they do like a Dragon Ball, I'd love to
Mhm.
get one like that in a nice hardcover, big like that. I'd love to get that, or a One Punch Man or
Yeah.
Spy X Family. Like those would be great to have.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
we got Soul saying, "I'll now hear X marks the spot whenever we'll have Mike Jimmy on from your trailer." I'm way behind in the chats. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we get to talking.
Soul says, Keith, on the campaign, it doesn't appear that large. Perhaps do a comparison shot with, I don't know, a glass of peanut butter next to it so folks
Oh, that's not a bad
can
idea
see
to
what
like
a boss
get
it
the
is.
scale of the puppet, you know.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Putting the link. Thank you, Soul. And he says, friends of mine are taking their kids to see a band called Heavy Saurus with people in dino costumes playing rock music. There's always something for little ones to enjoy, but it changes with the times. Yeah, Heavy Saurus.
Yeah, I never heard
That's
of
neat.
that with people playing rock music. That sounds awesome, actually.
Sounds like
It's
a fun
always
little thing.
something
Yeah.
to enjoy, but it changes with the time. Huh. I'll have to look them up later. That sounds great.
Yeah, down in Morgantown, they've got a like whole Jurassic Park thing going on. I can't remember.
What state are you in, Chris?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay.
Yeah, down in Morgantown here in West Virginia, they've got like a Jurassic Park, like the whole thing set up for the kids and everything.
Oh, cool. Is it like
yeah.
a playground or something? Like
I seen it on Facebook.
Okay.
I sent it to my friend Bridget. I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick.
That's cool though. That's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, those Jurassic Park movies are popular for a reason, right? You know, so
yeah, Jurassic Quest. There it is.
Jurassic Quest. That's
what
awesome.
it's called. Jurassic Quest. They're gonna have it in Morgantown. They're gonna have like it's the #1 dinosaur experience in North America.
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
And it's gonna have life-size dinosaurs, one-of-a-kind walking dinosaur rides, a life-size T-Rex skull, fossils.
Wow, that sounds fun, actually.
Yeah, I was like, her kids. She's got twins. She's got 2 twin boys. They're real young.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they would love that. I'm sure getting to see that.
Yeah, right.
So I made sure to send her the link. She said she'd already seen it and she was going to take them to it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, there is stuff out there, I guess, for them. But I wish comics would do stuff like that.
I wish too. I mean, somebody's figured out how to get it to him, right? I mean, Dogman is #1, and some of these other ones, but you kind of want to wish that it was, instead of Dogman, it was like Spider-Man,
Yeah.
or Captain America or something, But I don't know. They're not into taking risks. They're not into trying new things.
Yeah.
Comic industry's been the same ever since I've known it, and I worked in a comic store like 20 years ago, and nothing's changed as far as I can tell, as far as distribution or anything like that. No one thinks out of the box. No one tries to do anything different, and it just continues to lose people every day, So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Things, look the worst they've ever been though right now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. So
it is.
Brewster McPunch is probably my favorite of the names.
Thanks. Yeah, I had fun time. So a lot of the thing about the Mighty Mascots is that the mascots themselves are based off, famous, probably like homages to famous, serial mascots and things like that. And their villains tend to be homages to other products and things like that. Like the premise that we came up with is like a formula that creates these mascots from scratch, like a 3D printing formula. But like the ones the mascots were made with were, it was untainted, but the tainted ones end up being usually the villains and things like that. So that's sort of how we came up with the idea that why would all these mascots be evil, So that's why, But I have a really fun time coming up with my version of a real, my version of a real mascot, basically, So like right there in the background on that cover is my version of the Jolly Green Giant, basically, So, and then on his shoulder is a tiny guy. It's supposed to be like a living, he's supposed to be a piece of corn, but he's like, he looks like a military guy, and call him the Colonel, basically a play on the word, So it's the Colonel and Gog instead of Sprout and Jolly Green Giant, So it was like, and I wanted to do something kaiju, so that's why part 7 or issues 8 and 9 is going to be like a kaiju thing, which I wanted to do. So very fun. I just like doing, those kind of storylines, those kind of superhero storylines, that we don't see anymore. Because no one makes them like that. And you open up a Marvel comic now, and it's people talking for 20 pages.
Yeah. Or it's so, or like you said, there's no action. They're just standing there talking.
Yeah, or if there is action, it's done like quickly. Like there's like one, it's done within a page or a couple panels. Sometimes they don't even do it now. Like sometimes they'll just talk about it happening, and it's annoying. Like, because I often tell people, like, if you had done that in the final Avengers movie, and Captain America talked it out with Thanos, how mad would people be?
They'd be so upset,
so angry. You need that. The battles need to be like it's like wrestling. Two guys, they have their rivalry for weeks and weeks, but they settle it with that final battle. And that's how comics need to be. A lot of writers don't realize that. Like, they don't. Well, they find it boring to write fights, like I've read that often where writers just find it boring to write the battles, and that's like shouldn't be boring. I find it fun to like do like, it's like coming up with like a choreography for like a Rocky fight, or something like that, I don't know.
I mean, like I remember, gosh, I remember seeing a Jack Kirby, and it's Captain America, and he's like fighting like Batroc the Leaper, and it's like a full page. It's got all these like panels, and it's showing him just doing all the moves and going through the motions all through. I'm like, holy cow, this looks amazing. And it gets you right into you're caught right into it. Like, oh boy, let's see him fight and how they're playing it out.
Well, that
and just get your imagination going, and you want to start daydreaming about it and stuff.
And Jack Kirby had such those great fighting poses too. Like, so you just loved seeing it all unfold,
Gosh.
Yeah, that stuff's great. That's one of the reasons I used to love Captain America and Spider-Man is they always had cool battles. Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man would do something cool with the webs, flip a guy around with it, or you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
or he would like shoot the guy in the face with the web and then yank his head towards his fist or something. You know what I mean? Like it was always like that kind of fun, kind of comic stuff, you know,
Yeah.
that they
Like,
get away from. No one does that anymore. It drives me nuts. Like it's or the storylines are stupid. And with Marvel now, it's like they're redoing everything they did before. Like there's Civil War 2. They just did a redoing of Inferno. It's like, guys, can you come up with something different? Like,
we already
come on.
we already had that.
Yeah, seriously, it's awful. Like, I don't know. No wonder no one reads the books.
Gosh, I like when I was young, I used to read those books, and oh my gosh, it would just. And after I'd read it, I'd set it down and just daydream about like, oh man, what if they did this or did that, you know? And then I'd go read it again, and like, oh,
yeah, like such a wasted potential. Yeah,
so much
yeah,
imagination going on. Like my imagination would be running wild.
yeah. No,
And
it's true.
let's see. Oh, but I need to get to these chats.
Yeah,
So says Red Press. Ask Sim to add blanket options to the merch. You're doing the advertising already, myself. Leave me alone. Leave me alone about my blanket. I'm cold. Leave me be.
I don't get it. Do you put a blanket
I always
on?
got my little blanket
Oh, okay.
wrapped around my like legs and feet.
Oh,
My
okay.
feet are
So yeah,
always
you
cold.
can put like the YouTube channel link on there or something.
Get me a big
this is what you do, Chris.
blanket.
have a QR code stitched onto your blanket, so you hold it up and people can scan it and go right to your YouTube channel and subscribe. There you go, man.
Like, oh, I gotta get my blanket done up here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna fold this on camera, you know, very slowly.
Soul's putting the link for the website.
Thanks, Soul. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's I should update that site more often, but I do have like a little store section on there, you know, if you want to buy the issues. It's probably easier to just buy them on the campaign. You can get all 6 with the new issues if you haven't read it. And there's a lot of cooler stuff there too, you know. We're adding figures too. We're doing let me see, I have some right here. I remember the muscle figures, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever collect those when you were a kid?
I remember those.
Yeah, I'm working on those now. Like this is a misprint, but this is a Honey Flakes one, and you can see he has the he has C-Rad on. Like the sword broke off. There's supposed to be a sword there, but this is a misprint. But it's pretty cool, right? Like
it's a lot more detailed than the little
and it's the pink. Like
had.
remember the muscle figures? Like the pink had the so that's
really cool. I had a few of them. Like that's more detailed than the ones I had. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, the thanks again to my wife for designing. Like whenever you do a figure like that, you have to do like an animation thing where it's like you have to draw the character from the front, the back, and the side. Mm-hmm. So when they make the 3D mold, you know, you get all the detail. But yeah, that has way more detail than I thought they could do. You know, so
that looks really good.
Yeah, so we're gonna have those soon, and I'll probably have them on my campaign when I do get them, because we're not gonna probably have the books ready until about the summertime. I'm hoping. Like I'm work 7 and 8 are pretty much done. We're just doing final edits and tweaking things, and then 9 is about halfway done. So I'm hoping I can have it to the printer either by end of May or June, so that I can get it in July and then start fulfilling. Okay. And then we're gonna put the figures up whenever those come in. So
all right,
yeah. So it'd be fun, you know.
Folks have some time to get some money gathered up to buy.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I love Indiegogo because it kind of functions as an online store in a lot of ways, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's cool for the crowdfunding aspect, but also for that aspect too.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. That way, you know, people can still get it even after the crowdfunding's over.
Yeah, definitely.
Hex Allen's with us. He says, "Wow, just now getting the notification back at 11:54. Yeah, a little delayed, didn't it?"
Yeah, what's up with that? Maybe it's Saturdays, they're still waking up or something.
Marinus is with us. Says, "Can I get a hell yeah?"
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Right. Hexon says, apropos a Saturday morning for Keith Gleason.
Oh yes, thanks, Hex. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, appropriate. Yeah, actually, you're right. Right about now, Tarzan, Filmation's Tarzan would be on, I think, and then Candlepin Bowling right after that. You know, from when I was growing up.
Let's see, Chris. Oh, okay, here we go. Chris treats his manga better than his Western comics too. They have a nice shelf, and the Western comics rot on a pile and become nests for swarms of insects. Oh my gosh.
Is that true, Chris? Do you treat the manga better?
They give me hell because in my house I have a bookshelf that's built into the wall in the other room. So because I have so many Western comics, I was like, well, I'm not going to put them on that bookshelf. I put my manga there because I have less of them.
Okay.
And they all fit in there nice and neat. So that's where they are.
Okay.
So
makes sense to me.
Yeah, so I've got my comics. I got a bunch of long boxes and bag and boards. I've got a lot of them in there, but I don't have enough long boxes. So I've got like my stack here. These are all ones that I couldn't fit in normal bag and boards because they're so big.
Okay.
So they're sitting here. And then I've got, I think that's about it now. Yeah. But they give me hob because I have this stack and stuff of crowdfunded books. And they're not put away and all organized and not like my manga.
Takes a while. I have a couple stacks in there I haven't gotten to yet. I need to bag and board and put away. And like you said, not every, I think you said this earlier on, not every crowdfunding book's great. So like I kind of separate them into piles that I want to keep and other ones that I'll either sell or give away to people, you know, that might be interested.
And to be fair, my manga they're not in bag and boards or anything like that. They're just thrown on the shelf there. I've got a lot of my comics on nice and little bag and boards and put in their long boxes.
Yep.
And so I think my comics are being treated better than my manga. So
yeah, they're in the protective sleeves.
Yeah,
right?
they're in protective sleeves and everything. Do
they make like protective sleeves for those manga books? I don't think so, right?
I've seen some manga in like sleeved things.
Okay.
And like shorter, like bag and board sort of things. They're like smaller, and I've seen some where they're just wrapped in plastic and like a plastic thing that you can just pop open and take out. But not often do I see them like that.
Oh, gotcha. My problem with manga, though, like primarily, is that when I like some of it, but when I go to Barnes and Nobles and I just look at the shelves, a lot of it looks the same, and I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know which ones are good or not. But I watch anime primarily the same way as I look for something unique, like you had mentioned Hellsing and Berserk. Like those two stood out to me because they were different.
Yeah.
They seemed different. You know, Berserk, with that character looked amazing with a giant sword, and Hellsing I like because of the vampire and stuff. And then like one of my favorite animes is Lupin the Third, so I like that character. Okay. And but everything else I kind of see I don't know what it is half the time because it just looks like it looks like just this group cast, a group cast, and they all look like they're wizards or something. Yeah, someone just mentioned Chainsaw Man. I just started watching that one. That one's cool. That one reminds me a lot of Devil Man. Remember Devil Man?
Oh yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of that. And so things like that are unique, like Chainsaw Man stood out because it was different. It looks different. Same with Attack on Titan, that looked different, was something new. So that's a kind of anime and manga I like, stuff that's different. Like, but when it's just a group of girls and guys and they all look like wizards or something, I just don't know what it is, and I don't get into it.
There's a lot of those animes that have like a very similar style. They all kind of follow a similar look and everything, so they all kind of blend together. And
yeah,
it's
definitely.
Like, am I gonna like that? Like, there is a few different manga I've bought that I didn't care for because it was not really that interesting. it was just kind of like, oh, this is just another typical thing that I see all the time, or it was just, there was one that was really badly done. I was like, holy cow, this is rough.
One that I saw besides Chainsaw Man that was really good that people
I've heard people like it.
Have you seen Spriggan?
Spriggan. Yeah.
They dropped like a 6-episode run on Netflix, and then they had a movie like maybe about 10 to 15 years ago. Both are excellent, like both the show and the movie.
Yes.
And I like that because it was like this tough kid with all this kind of like tech and, but he was like had a military training.
Yeah, because
I like the storyline too, where they're like protecting dangerous artifacts and stuff. And I thought that was great. So those are the ones
it had like a big guy with like a chain gun, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that animation was really nice.
Yeah, they did a show on Netflix. Have you seen the show?
I don't know. I don't think so. I've seen what there was like it was a movie, right?
It was a movie, and then they did a 6-episode show. Maybe about, I think it went on Netflix. Maybe about.
I'm gonna have to. I'll have to watch it then. Yeah, because I've seen.
Yeah, they actually redo. I think the second episode of the show was a redo of the movie, but they did it in like 45 minutes versus the 90 minutes I think it was in the movie. Okay. But yeah, it's all new adventures of that character going to protect something.
Yeah, the movie was cool.
Yeah, the movie was awesome. I think the movie was by the Akira people, wasn't it? The Akira guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, it had nice animation though. It was really like the action was really well done in that too. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so if you like the movie, definitely check out the show. The show was awesome too.
We got Soul saying, or Thanos and Captain Marvel crying together into an empty bucket of Ben and Jerry's on a lonely Saturday. What a mess that would have been.
That's where it's almost is with Marvel stuff. Let me tell you. Oh my God, that's funny.
Soul says, wasn't even Doc Ock Spider-Man for a bit? I don't follow those anymore. They're so out of ideas it hurts.
Yeah, there was. I think Doc Octopus took over Spider-Man's body. I made a joke about it too, and people didn't like it. I said, okay, so Dr. Octopus essentially lost every fight that he ever had with Spider-Man, right? So if he's the new Spider-Man, wouldn't he lose every battle that he fights?
Like, wouldn't he be just a crappier version of Spider-Man?
Yeah, he's a crappy version of Spider-Man. Like, I don't. It's just like,
what's the appeal?
Yeah, what's the appeal? It's like a friend of mine. Like we were talking about. This is a guy I work with who's not really a comic fan, but he watches the Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. And he was telling me how much he hated the new Thor movie, and I was like, well, I haven't even watched it because I knew it was going to be bad. But he's like, you know what drove me nuts about that movie? He's like, Natalie Portman picks up Thor's hammer and she becomes a Thor, like she's Thor. And he goes, I could not get into it because at the last Avengers movie, Captain America picks up the hammer. Why didn't he turn into Thor? And I was like, you know what? That's a great point. Yeah. And this is from a guy that just watches the movies, not wasn't in the comics. And I was like, wow, I didn't hear anybody say anything about that. That's absolutely true, So yeah, I don't know. He's like, I couldn't get into it. It kept bugging me. It's just like, I was like, well, yeah, I could see that,
Yeah, I unfortunately seen that Thor movie. It was the first Marvel movie I'd watched since the first Avengers.
Oh, really? You hadn't seen any since then?
I lost interest in the Marvel movies after the first Avengers movie.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you got burned out way before everybody else.
Oh, yeah. I was like, this isn't for me. This isn't my comics. Because I wanted comics just transplanted into movies.
Yeah, they don't do that.
And they don't do that. So I was like, I'm good.
I hung in a lot longer than I should have. I was done after the final Avengers movie. I was like, they can't possibly do anything better than this now. And I was right, Like, I eventually saw Black Widow. It was junk. And what's that?
Yeah, that was like the peak.
Yeah, it was. It was like they built up to that over 10 years, and they should have just stopped. And then maybe took a few years off and then redid something. But Not with Disney in charge. That ain't
No,
happening.
they're gonna milk it dry.
Oh God, that and
then
Star Wars. They just
and then they'll wait a while and then they'll bring it back like in their parks or something and milk it for nostalgia.
Yep.
But
That's exactly it. That's what
yeah,
they're gonna do.
I lost interest. I liked the first Captain America movie. I liked it. I liked of course I loved Blade back when.
Yeah, Blade.
And,
I still see Blade's one of the best superhero movies ever
Yeah.
made.
I enjoyed the first Captain America movie. I liked the first Iron Man. But yeah, like the first Thor was okay, and then like that first Avengers movie, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't
didn't
blame
like
you. I mean, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I was like, this is, and then like Loki was there. I was like, oh, I love Loki. He's like the cool, mage. He's good. He takes on all the Avengers, and then they just have him kind of get punked out by Hulk, and I was like, for a joke, and I was like, he's Loki. He's supposed to be a big bad. What is going on?
But and I noticed like every superhero movie has that same formula though. It's like always one villain, but they create or they have like this mindless horde or a group of creatures that everybody's fighting that make no difference. They don't cause any kind of destruction or they're not any kind of menace at all. They're just there so that the rest of the team has something to do. And it's like every superhero movie's like that now,
Yeah.
It kind of sucks.
Let's see. Sugar, don't feel bad for simp watching that Thor movie at the time and you learned your lesson. Oh my gosh. I watched it because I guess she's my ex now. My friend Bridget wanted to go watch it. We were on a date.
Okay.
So she's like, well, I was like, well, let's go watch a movie. There wasn't really anything on. That Thor movie was there. I was like, I know she likes the female Thor in the books.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you want to go watch that? She's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I was like, okay, we'll go watch that. Yeah, make her happy. She'll enjoy it. Oh my God, it was so bad. I hated it so much.
Yeah, my wife watched it on her own and she thought it sucked too.
I was like, it's so bad. The humor, oh my God.
She said the screaming goats were unbearable.
They were so annoying.
And the one thing I didn't like just from the trailer of it was I saw that they made Thor kind of like a joke. Like he wasn't even like, you know what I mean? Like he was just like
everything was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, anytime they'd get like a serious moment, they'd make jokes. And I'm like,
yeah, like she also said like Christian Bale must have been pissed because he was actually doing a character and like doing like a real role and he was in this like mess of a movie.
He was by far my favorite thing about it because he actually was trying to do something serious and meaningful, and he was undercut every step of the way.
Right. And when they do that, it takes out all the stakes from the actual, like you don't care about it because everything's a joke. You know what I mean? Like they undercut the storyline by doing that. And it's just Marvel does that all the time now,
Yeah, they introduced Eternity and he's just basically a genie. Like he just grants a wish if you find him. And it's like, well then why'd you do this?
Oh God. How did they do Eternity? Did he look like he does in the comics where it's like where he's like an outline and then his body looked like a universe or something?
If I remember right, he was kind of like this outline, but I don't remember if he was like a universe thing. I think he might have just been like a generic color, shifty color thing with eyes and stuff.
I should look it up. They probably have a clip on YouTube. I don't want to watch the movie, but I'd be curious how they did that character,
I was very zoned out by the end, so I can't.
I believe it. Yeah,
I was like,
I couldn't picture myself sitting through it. Like I remember we tried watching Eternals, and we were watching it, and then I was like, oh, people, why were people hating on this? This isn't too bad. And I was like, it looks like it's gonna, about to wrap up. And then like we stopped to go get like a drink or something, and we'd only been into the movie like 40 minutes, and it was still another 2 hours. I'm like, what the fuck could this be about?
God,
like,
holy cow!
Yeah, and by the end, we were like, what an awful film! Like, just
Yeah, that's too much for me.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, I'm kind of done. for me, superhero fatigue is real. I just don't
Yeah.
been
Oh,
bored by.
you said your favorite was Spider-Man back in the day when
Yep.
you were young. So was mine, and this was probably one of the ones that got me into it.
Oh yeah, the 2-in-1s. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are great. Yeah, Spider-Man and Thing. Yeah, that's.
I loved this book. This was part of the big stack I got.
Oh, I love
With
that too, and all the
Ant-Man.
picture, like the heads on the side, and I love
Mhm.
when
Oh my
comic
gosh, it was
covers.
such a good cover and
Yeah,
everything. But like
so much action on that cover too.
yeah, and it's got Thanos, and they're in space, and he's got his henchmen, and all the others are captured. And I remember Spider-Man's thinking about like just running away because he's like, "Oh man, I'm in over my head. I fight burglars, and I'm over here in space with aliens and stuff." But then he's like, "No, I got to do this, and everything." And he goes back and he fights the aliens. And he manages to rescue everybody. And I was like, that as a little boy, I was like, whoa, he overcame his fears and did all this, and it was really, like a big deal to me as a kid. So that's what made me like him. Because
Oh yeah, Spider-Man. Remember
it was
the issue
relatable.
is like one of the early ones. Like I think you'd have to probably read it in a Masterworks now, but like the one where the building collapses on him and he's
Mhm.
underneath, and like he finds that strength to just like
Yeah, and he lifts
lift
it
that
up.
building.
Yeah.
Like, but it's that whole issue where he's struggling with himself. Can I do that? I can't do this, and then realizes he has to do it because Aunt May needs him, and it just like lifts the building. I was like, that stuff's great. You don't see that's not a
Mhm.
thing in comics anymore. Like they'd
Yeah.
rather make a joke, or you know what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
not. None of them seem heroic anymore.
Yeah. Like, or everything's so deconstructionist, and it
Yeah.
drags them down to like not even a normal person's level, but below them, they're like kind of scumbaggy at times.
Well,
It's like,
yeah,
don't
and I
want
think a
that.
lot of the modern writers hate the fact that they have to write superhero comics, and I think it shows through the work.
Like,
They're like, no one
I
has
want
fun doing it.
aspirational. I want to be inspired.
Yeah, yeah, same. Like, and there's still a couple good writers around. Like I think like the Batman comic, ever since they got rid of Tom King, has been great. Like, for a few years now. And I feel like that character has been good, handled well. Just the main Batman comic.
Okay.
I like Spider-Man for a little while until they started doing the event crap. But yeah, that's it for like Marvel and DC for me. I buy primarily like indie books when I go to the comic store now. I look for indie stuff that I like, but I don't think I read a really good superhero comic anymore. There's not. I used to read hundreds of them. Now it's like one or
Yeah.
two.
Yep. Like pretty much the only thing I touch, like really, is superhero for the biggest most part is back issues when I go and find something cheap at an auction or something like that. Otherwise, I
There's
don't
a
know.
ton I haven't read. So yeah, I buy a lot of backwards stuff too, or I rebuy stuff that I loved that I got rid of for some reason when I was younger, maybe because it was worth money, or I'll rebuy the paperback and things like that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I see why Western comics are failing, because they're just not good. So it's just no one wants to buy them.
What's Soul saying here? He says, I rewatched the first Blade lately and found that I still feel the same about it then back in the day. Didn't like the bratty Frost crew and the lack of Blood God transformation, but everything else.
Yeah,
but
so
liked
that's
everything else.
I think Blade is a classic. I don't like second and third one as much, but the first one I think is amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
it hit at a time when like superhero movies weren't a thing, and Wesley Snipes nailed that character.
Yes,
too.
he did. I loved the first Blade. I thought the second one was okay. I did not like the third.
Yeah, the third one sucks.
Yeah,
and 2 is got some moments though. 2 is great.
Yeah.
And there's just moments of the first one though, unbelievable, really good.
Okay. Amy says Eternity looked like a silhouette with generic outer space inside the outline.
Okay, so they did do that a little bit. Okay, because that's what Eternity is. He looks like a an outline of a god, but inside his body looks like a universe or something. So that's cool that they did it correctly. I won't watch it for that, but maybe I'll see a YouTube video on it or something.
It was so bad.
I admire the fact that they put something like that in a movie, because you would never. When I was a kid, I didn't think something like that would be filmable, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And but when you put it in a bad movie, who cares, right? You know.
Yeah. Marinus says superhero movies need to stop with that awful humor. Yeah, I agree with that. That is the main reason I don't watch them. Is for the
there's a balancing humor. Act you need to do, because you don't want everything to tip into the dark Zack Snyder area of movies, you know. So there's going to be you got to find like that balance where you can be serious and maybe have a joke or two, but that's it. You know what I mean? Like the whole movie can't be a joke, or else who cares, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. Marinus says, or Soul says, agreed, or amen, buddy Marinus. Joss Whedon humor, so 2002.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't age well either.
There are good writers around the industry, but for every Brian Edward Hill, you get 30 stoner morons like Matthew Rosenberg.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Yeah, Brian Edward Hill is pretty good. The few things I read by him.
Now, see, Soul is an educated man. I have no idea who any of those people are.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't remember
a bunch of modern creators, you know.
Yeah, like I don't remember names, especially modern ones. Like I remember some old people like Marv Wolfman and George Perez and stuff like that, you know. But I couldn't tell you pretty much anybody modern. I wouldn't know. I know indie guys. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, with modern people, like I think I tend to remember their names if it's somebody I'll read something on and I like it. And then I'll be like, okay, let me put this guy's name in my memory bank, because if he does something good, you know, I'll try to check it out. You know, that's Brian Edward Hill is good though. I read a few things. I think with him, he's a novelist too. So like he approaches the comics like a novel, which is good. You should want to make, you know, a good storyline, you know.
Mm-hmm. Marinus says he liked Man of Steel, no stupid humor, and great fast-paced action.
Yeah, I like Man of Steel, actually.
Okay. I don't remember which one that is.
It's the very first one with Zod. The only thing I didn't like Superman killing him at the end, because I thought that was
that turned me off to it.
Yeah, that wasn't very Superman. The battle before that, where like, you know, Superman's being thrown through buildings and Zod and him are fighting through Metropolis. That felt very comic booky to me, because usually don't see like that level of destruction in a movie. And I was like, that was so that was like a Jack Kirby battle, you know? But him killing Zod didn't sit well with me, because Superman would find another way, you know?
Yeah.
He would strand him somewhere, or he'd put him in the Phantom Zone or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't agree with the whole killing him.
Up to that though, I can kind of separate it though, because if it ended like 5 minutes earlier, it would have been hailed with me. You know, it probably would have been in my top superhero films, but because he killed him, I didn't really like that. You know,
the last Superman movie I watched had a lot of like him like stopping disasters, and then like there was I think Lex Luthor shows up, and I think at the end he's surrounded by kryptonite and stuff. But
was that the Batman versus Superman, that one?
No, it wasn't that one.
Or is it one of the Christopher Reeve ones?
It was before the Man of Steel, but it wasn't Christopher Reeves. It was.
You're thinking of the Brandon Routh one, Superman Returns.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that ended with the island of kryptonite, where he was. There was basically it was a continuation of the Christopher Reeve ones.
Yeah, because I remember I wasn't into it. I remember being bored or something.
There was a long stretches where nothing happened.
I was really bored.
And like I remember, like the one thing was they did him saving the plane in the middle, and then there was like that final thing with the island, and it wasn't. Yeah, it was like not a lot of action in that one.
Yeah, I just remember being really bored and just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, I hear that.
Let's see. Oh, we got Ace, Mr. Edwin Acevedo.
Oh,
He's
hey,
got
man.
he's got himself a book on that Fund My Comic website there
Oh,
of
nice.
Luke Stone's called Raid of the White Leopard.
Oh, nice. Good
Oh,
luck
he
with
says
that.
Man of Steel was a masterpiece.
Did you like Superman killing? That's the only part I thought was
I
anti-Superman.
don't know.
The stuff with his father, with what's his name? Kevin Costner was great. I thought that scene with the tornado and all that. That stuff was really well done when he dies, and the lead up to the end was great too. I just didn't like that ending.
Soul's telling me Brian Hill is a name to remember. I don't care much about modern Marvel, but his short 5-issue Killmonger run, for example, was fantastic. Also, not bad on Batman.
Huh? I didn't know he wrote Killmonger. I'll have to take a look for that. Yeah, he is. He's a good writer. I can vouch for that as well. I've read a few things with him. Yeah, yeah, I agree. The only good thing about the Superman Returns was the theme song coming back, because I think that's one of the greatest theme songs of all time.
But instead of gosh, we've been going on and on about other stuff. We haven't been going on and on about Mighty Mascot.
Well, I love talking anything, so it doesn't have to be promo. But yeah, no,
I'm not. I apologize. I'm not on my ball today.
Oh,
I don't know if it's because
dude, I love tangents. Trust me.
I
thrive on them. We go into tangents on my show. What's that? I'm sorry.
I haven't even been talking about your project.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. I'm having fun just shooting the shit about comics. I feel like I'm back in the comic store days, But I was going to say, we do that on our show a lot. Me and Johnny, we run into tangents a lot. We'll be talking to a guest about their project, and then something comes up, we're right into that other direction, But yeah, no, out there, like we talked about earlier, it's just a fun superhero comic, stuff that you don't see in the modern age anymore. I'm writing like old school comics, stuff I grew up with. It's an homage to what I love, Saturday morning cartoons and old comics, so I do have a couple little modern twists in there, but nothing really that you would notice, like I do like to write, even though they're serial mascots and they're these absurd characters, I still love to give them, like challenges as characters, like in issues 4, 5, and 6, Honey Flakes kind of has this flashback to or he wakes up from this nightmare that he remembers that his crew had died, and it was from this old commercial, like a breakfast commercial sweepstakes that they had never finished, but he has a memory of it. So it kind of affects him as the leader. And I always like to, come up with a challenge and how he gets back to being like the leader again, things like that, like just character arcs, that you see in shows and things like that. So it does have that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of a trope of modern storytelling, I guess, or any, storytelling. They didn't do it. Well, they would do it a little bit in the older comics, Spider-Man would grow and learn from battles and things like that. Like he was constantly always wanting to give up the suit, and he would find his way back to loving being Spider-Man again, So stuff like that, like those kind of storylines, I do in Mighty Mascots a lot. But in the new issues, the 8 and 9, the big robot Boom is going to go through a drastic change that I'm kind of excited about. That I kind of wanted to do something really drastic with him. So I'll see if people like what I do by the end of it, And I think it'll be kind of a fun storyline to pursue and how it changes the team going forward, So, but I'm planning on, I like these characters a lot. I'm planning on keeping going forward with them, I'd like to do 2 or 3 issues a year and just keep it going, And
okay.
I might start shopping it around with another publisher. But I don't know yet. I kind of want to get them done before I even look at that, so I'm more just staying focused on that. And,
Yeah.
once they're finished, I'll try to look into things. And if not, maybe I'll self-publish it and just try to put it in Diamond myself,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
try to
it
get
would
in the
be
stores.
it'd be nice to see something like this, just out in places where kids would frequent, like Walmart or just anywhere where there would be kids coming in and out, and they could just kind of glance over and see it, and be like, oh, and point at it and be like, Mom,
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I struggled with Alterna too, because when I first joined Alterna, this was back maybe 2016, 2017, right around there is when I pitched it, and I got the contract with them. But at the time, Pete was still in Diamond, and like my first issue when it was in Diamond, it went to stores. The first miniseries went to stores,
Mhm.
and the first issue sold something insane. Like, I think, let me see, about grand total between a couple different times, I think it sold like 5,000 copies.
Oh,
Anywhere, it was somewhere between 3,000, 5,000. I remember that.
yeah, that's good.
And that's amazing, right? And I knew
Yeah.
that was in stores everywhere. Anybody that, I shouldn't say it was in every store, but it was in stores that were friendly to indie comics.
Yeah.
So probably about 30% of the stores out there, and
That's pretty good.
but big places like Manhattan, Boston, bigger cities that have the indie sections, had so that was great, and I would see, I would get tweets and, people taking pictures of it in Florida on a rack, or, in other places, and which was awesome,
Yeah, it's always good to see.
Yeah, it was great. And then like, when I left Alterna, I think my last royalty check, I think I had sold like something like 80 copies through Pete's website, and through the Indiegogo campaigns or something. I was like, this
Yeah.
just is not worth it, and I don't know if the stores would be the same thing now, but it's got to be better. It's going to be better than what we were always getting there. So that was part of the reason why I left too. It seemed like I kind of wanted to just get books back into a bigger distribution, try to get it back out into other stores and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta try to get it out where you can. Get
Yeah,
in front
and
of
I
as
figured,
many
like,
eyes as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And I figured we got the Indiegogo for people that don't have a store around them. They could buy it from there, and
That's me.
yeah, exactly, right? So it's like, I look at it as having both, like you have the online presence, but also why not get it into stores, because not everybody is online and looking at in crowdfunders, so
Yeah.
I just think if I sells one copy in Wisconsin somewhere, I think it's worth it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that one person loves the book. Like I remember when I said, once we quit Alterna, and I was telling people on, I did a video on my channel about what I was going to do. And people were saying, like, I'm glad you're trying to get back into stores. That's how I discovered the book, and so there is people out there that will buy it from from comic book stores and other places. It's just,
Yeah, that's what
I don't know.
That's what I've tried to say to people. Like there's a lot of people who are like, I'm Indiegogo exclusive or something. I'm like, well, why not try to go Indiegogo, go Kickstarter, go to cons and set up, or try to get into places. Like, why not do that? Because you want to try to grow. You want to try to get in front of people.
That's the problem. Like I always felt like I didn't have a good online presence. So I've been trying to do more YouTube shows, been doing my own channel, doing Twitter and all that stuff. But like, I feel like you got to do a little bit of all of it. You got to try to be in stores. You got to try to do conventions, and you got to be online. You got to,
you never know when somebody might take notice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and do other channels, go on other people's shows, promote other people too, so yeah, so just I feel like I don't know, I feel like you need to do all three and not just focus on one, and I don't know.
Mhm.
The only way you grow as a creator and your comic grows, readership. That's the way I feel. I don't know. Some people can do one and just do really well at it, but I don't know. I always felt like all three is a good way to go.
And we got Ice Queen with us.
Hello.
Hey y'all, how are you this morning? Hope you're doing well. We're just talking with Mr. Keith Gleason about Mighty Mascots. Mr. Keith's been around for a while now. He's become a veteran of the indie scene with his Mighty Mascots comic.
Indie's where it's at. I'm, always said it.
So says Keith's Twitter is also a 80s/90s all-you-can-eat nostalgia buffet. You can tell the man likes his retro stuff.
It is true. I just tweet. I find really fun memes, or I find like really old references to cartoons I love growing up, and throw it on my Twitter, and then I pepper in the little promos in there as well.
Yeah, that's what everybody's always complaining about Twitter. They're always saying how bad it is. It's like, well, if you do it right, it's not.
It
like
is what you make of it.
Right, right.
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
Mine is almost exclusively like comic books, indie comics, or old comics, and that's about it.
I'll tell you this: my experience on Twitter did not change one bit when Elon Musk took over. It stayed the same.
Yeah, mine's still the same.
Because I don't go looking for problems, and I don't tweet out problematic stuff either. So there's a way to do it.
Yeah, most of my retweets is just like, oh, look at this comic. Oh, look at this thing. Or, oh, look, it's a video of a kitten. Oh, that's fun.
Or here's this awesome intro for Mighty Orbots that you might not have seen. Which is another great cartoon. If anyone hasn't seen it, go look that one up.
Meredith says about the killing part, I think it's not an excuse, but there's that but. This version of Superman is inexperienced. He made a decision that really affected him. This was basically his first step becoming the greatest superhero of all time. Well,
not a bad point, but
I get what they were going for. I'm not saying that I don't understand it. I just don't agree with it myself.
I think if it was any other character besides Superman, and say like Captain America, well, maybe not Captain America, but let's say Superman, because Captain America was a soldier, so he obviously killed. But like, I think if it was any other character but Superman, I think I could swallow it a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Superman has such that history that you just think of him as the perfect superhero. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't do anything wrong. Like,
like to me, Superman, he's meant to be that aspirational, like above it all kind of character.
Yes. Yeah,
and
exactly.
You can't have him, like, he should already, because of his upbringing with the Kents and his mindset, he shouldn't need to go on that journey to be that. He should already be it. He should already have that mindset that to be that better person and not kill anybody.
Yeah.
Like, there shouldn't be a need for a journey. He should already have achieved it.
I think it would have been more challenging for them as a writer to figure out how to stop Zod without killing, But like I said, I liked everything up before that. I think the battle is comic books like that. When they were destroying the city, that was Jack Kirby type battles to me, and I love that part of it. It's just the killing I didn't like. I don't know. I like Cavill though. I thought Cavill was a great Superman.
Yeah. He looked it. He definitely looked it. Yeah,
he looked it. He definitely did.
Ice Queen is saying to indie creators, don't hold back. That's right. Go where you need to go. That's what she's saying. Yeah. Blast Beat Industries. Hello.
Hey, what's up? And good to see you, man.
She says, "My online presence can only be described as domestic terrorism." Oh my!
Brian's
He
great.
says he's at work and bored.
Hear that? I've had to go back to work. It's not fun.
Yeah, I work overnights, and
Oh, do you really?
yeah.
Yeah,
So usually
I
I'll
did that
come.
once. It's not that's a take some getting used to.
Yeah, usually I'll come home, I'll take like a couple hour nap, and then I get up and do these streams, and yeah, I'll try to tune in to like live streams and stuff while I'm working. I'll put it in my inside work pocket while I'm
Oh
stocking
yeah, there you
shelves and
go.
stuff.
Just listen to it.
Yeah, it just gives me something to listen to while I'm working. Oh, Brian Christgau's with us. He says, "What's up, Chris? What's up, everybody? Yeah, how are you doing,
Hey,
sir?"
Brian, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, he does a book called Six Gun Gorilla.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I've heard
cool book.
about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. There's so many like indie guys that I hear about. Like I hear about their books and stuff, and like I definitely want to check them all out. I'll have to look for. I've heard of that one, and I love the idea. Just the title is amazing. So
Oh yeah, you got
I
like
have to check it out.
Yeah, the western with a big old gorilla, and
There was another
got big
one,
iron.
I forget the dude's name. Jason something. He had a book about an octopus that was like
Octopus Cowboy.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
that was like awesome. I was like, who thinks of that? But I love
a wild
how
idea.
weird and crazy it was, you know?
Yeah, I think he's making a second one.
Oh, good.
Is
That's
what
great.
I heard.
Yeah. Love the idea. Like, I mean, who the hell would come up with that? That's awesome.
What's he saying here? Chris, except when it's about German bathhouses. I saw. Oh no, he's seen my post. There was a Twitter post about they had found a building that was like from like way back when in the day, like medieval times, or I think, and it was like a bathhouse.
Okay.
So like they moved it to like a museum and restored it and everything and fixed it up. So now people can go back in and actually get like a steam bath and everything.
Oh wow!
And and they wear like the time accurate little hats and everything, and get in there and get a good steam.
That's cool.
So I quote retweeted it and I said, "Oh, so this is what old Soul and his friend Dunkelziffer is doing when he's not tuning into my streams. He's over getting a steam bath."
That sounds fantastic, though.
They're getting half naked together and getting steamed.
There's a convention up this way in New York called Saratoga Comic-Con. Pretty good show. It's a hike for us to go to. It's like 4-hour ride and stuff. But when we went up there the first time, we found this hotel that we stay in that has this awesome like hot tub and like like a steam, like saunas and things like that.
Wow, real fancy.
And now me and my wife will do the convention just so we can stay at that hotel because of like the sauna and the hot tub and stuff. It's kind of fun,
Really,
so I get that. I get the steam bath thing,
You got to treat yourself, right?
You do. You got to.
I've never had one of those before, one of those steam things or nothing. I've never experienced that.
They're kind of they're really relaxing. You get out and you're just
really?
I don't want to do anything,
That's where my mom and my brother are at now. They're at a con right now, I think.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah. They're going to like was it Richmond or something like that? Richmond, Virginia, I think.
Oh, okay.
And there was a con down there, and there was they were trying to get me to go, but like I couldn't get the day off. They wanted me to get Friday off from work and come down, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to get it off because next week I'm taking vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And then gosh, it was like 5 hours or like 4 or 5, or I don't know, like 4-hour trip or something like that. And I think it's like a 4-hour trip. And so they were wanting me to come down. Was it? I think leave this morning, go down there, attend the con, then come back like the next day. And I got to work the next day. And
yeah, of course.
I don't want to do all that. That's a long trip. And
you're risking con crud,
Yeah, I'll be tired and sick, and I won't be able to sleep. And
yeah,
I'll just stay home. But they're down there.
The thing with cons, they're all the time, right? So you probably could find one.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm taking vacation next week. Is because I'm going to one with them down in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so
But
they
but
tend to be a lot of them tend to be about the same thing, no matter where you go. So
but they wanted me to go down there because Simon Bisley's going to be there,
oh, okay,
and a few others that I recognized and knew. Yeah, and I loved Lobo growing up.
yeah, me too.
I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool to go see, say hello, get an autograph, get
Right,
him to
right.
sign one of my favorite books,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
and but then at the same time, like, am I going to get to know him? Are we going to start a conversation? And so there's no real sentimental value if I don't get to
Yeah, talk to him for a
talk
few
to him
minutes.
for a
Yeah,
while, and I'm not going to get to, so I might as well. It's not a big deal. Like
yeah.
I like going to Steel City down in Pittsburgh because I've gotten to know the people there. We go like once or twice a year.
Okay.
So like Ed Beard, who used to do Magic the Gathering artwork, I've talked to. He knows me by name, I think now.
Oh
Like the
wow.
last time I went down, I was like, "Oh hey sir," and he's like, "Oh hey Chris, yeah, how are you?" Yeah. Eric Hodson, who does Dreaded Dinosaur, I see him there all the time. We've become buddies. Willowshire, the Heroinberg folks. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
Herrenberg.
it's
I
like
met
going
them.
down there and being friends. Getting to bump into friends again and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
with
yeah.
them and stuff.
Yep.
So that has way more meaning to me than say meeting Simon Bisley because I
Hmm.
know I'm not going to become buddies with him.
Right, right, right.
He's got too many people coming and going. He's too big of a guy.
Yeah, you're lucky you get to ask him one question before you're
Right.
ushered off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I hear
So
that.
yeah, I'm not big into celebrity stuff.
Well, that's the one thing I love about conventions. You get to know people, and then we call it having a con family. So you get to see your con
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And I love when convention season starts up. I'm doing less this year because this year I just want to do. I want to get the book done. So conventions really. The only time I really get to work on my book usually is the weekend. So every convention I go to, that's one less weekend I'm working on the comic. So I've been doing a little less. I'm trying to focus more on 1-day shows rather than multiple day shows, things like that,
Okay.
So, but I love
Yeah, 'cause
conventions. It's always a good time. Always great place to meet readers, people that'll take a chance on your book and things like that. So
yeah, I had seen you promoting cons. I didn't know if you did your own con or
I
something.
did. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
my own con.
That's what I thought when I seen there. I was like, wait, does he do his own? That's
I
pretty
do.
cool.
It's grown into I'd say a good mid-size convention.
Oh, really?
But the reason I did it, back in about 2015, 2016, I was going to a ton of cons, and the one thing I started noticing, and it's still a thing with conventions, is that a lot of the bigger shows, especially in our area, like Boston and stuff, they have a hard focus on everything but comics, and I think that's becoming a thing it's become a thing with most conventions. And so I just got tired of it. I was like, all my friends, all my artist friends and stuff, everyone was complaining that, so people would come to the Boston show, they would spend $200 to get in or whatever, with their families and stuff. Then they would spend $100 to get William Shatner's autograph.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would come to Artist Alley and be like, sorry, I don't have any money. It's but that's a lot of money to spend. You're already out $300-$400 before you even get to Artist Alley, so I was like, man, we got to get back to conventions that are about comics and very low admission to get in. So that's what I get tired of it. And I was like, let me look into starting one. And that's what I did. I started one. I didn't want to be a promoter, but I kind of became one out of necessity of not seeing the shows I wanted to.
Trying to bring it back to its roots.
Yeah. And me and my wife do it as almost a labor of love because, after we spend the money to rent everything and, have the show, we don't make a ton of money off. We make some money, but not enough to be like, hurrah, convention,
This was so worth it.
Yeah. But it's a great day. We have a lot of cool friends that from the artist community that come down and do the show. I meet a lot of great people
And
doing
what's
the show.
what's the con called and where's it at?
So it's called Plastic City Comic Con. It's in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. We do it one day. It's a one-day show, and we only charge $10 to get in. It used to be $5, but we've had to go up because of we had to move to a different venue and things like that. So
I mean, that's still really cheap though.
yeah. We don't the thing is we don't we do it in this like sports complex now, and there's not a lot of great places to do panels, so we don't do panels, and we don't really have cosplay contests or anything like that. It's just you go there and you go to see artists, you know, and you go there to dig through back issue boxes, things like that, you know.
Well, I think it's fine to not have like those contests and everything. Since you're only doing one day, people aren't going to have a ton of time to go do all these little side things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
We just want it to be like a fun day at a convention. You go look for stuff, you go buy stuff, you go support artists and local indie people, you know. And that's the kind of show we want it to be. I have a lot of pressure from people to go 2 days and to, you know, bring in all this other stuff, but I've been fighting it because I don't want to turn into one of those bigger shows that I hate, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to turn into all the other cons that do all
exactly.
these
And I tell them that. I was like, if you want that, go to these other shows. They're there, you know? We want to be like those Sunday shows that used to be from like 10 to 3 in a hotel basement, you know. And you walk in and the guy has like the cigar box where he has all his change, you know. That's the kind of show I want to be, you know. So yeah, so if anybody's up in the, you know, Massachusetts, New England area, definitely check us out. It's a fun show. If you're missing a true Comic-Con, that's the show we do. It's called Plastic City Comic Con.
Let's see here. Oh, here's a good question. Blastbeat says, serious question, is crowdfunding working out like we thought? It's great for selling comic books to some dude in Chicago, but is it attracting new readers?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, because like I think so. I mean, I think on some level, like there's a bunch of people that, you know, checking out Mighty Mascots that never have read it before, you know. But I, you know, like I was saying to you earlier, Chris, like I think you got to do it all. Like I meet new readers when I'm at conventions selling them books there. I meet new readers when you know, or like when I had distribution into comic stores when Alterna was first in Diamond, and you know, I was hearing from readers all over the country, which was great. But yeah, I don't know what that magic formula is. For me, it's having a good comic and then going out and trying to get it into any hands possible.
Just trying to get in front of as many people as you can.
Exactly. And crowdfunding is just another way to do it. For me, it's easier than an online store because I have an online store on my website and I don't sell anywhere the amount of comics there that I do on Indiegogo, you know. So for me, crowdfunding makes sense for that, you know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're probably going to get more traffic through, you know, Indiegogo than you would your website.
I think so. I mean, the thing about Indiegogo, Kickstarter, all of them, they put all the comics in one area, so someone could literally just, hey, I want to back something, and just go through, you know,
scroll through
and just see what's out there, you know.
And
you'll probably end up spending way too much money, but that's the way to do it, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's attracting new readers. Like for your book, I'm sure it is, but I mean, like people coming in who's never read a comic and then picking up some. I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's doing that either. I mean,
because I've seen people pop up in comments saying like, "Hey, I've never read comics. This is my first comic," but a lot of those people that I've seen say that was on campaigns of big YouTuber guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were backing because they wanted to support their YouTuber.
Yeah, and they get something out of it, but you never know. Like, so even though they backed it and they bought that comic, did they ever read it?
Right.
Like, you know, like some people will buy it just to hand it to a kid in their life or something,
Yeah,
and you don't even know if the kid will read it, you know. So yeah, you don't know if that stuff's working or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
everyone's kind of like, well, at least he's selling comics, and it's like, yeah, but if they don't come back for more,
right.
did you
Like,
really sell, you know, did you really create a reader, you know?
like that's good for them. But like, is it a comic book or is it merchandise for the YouTuber?
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
and it's good that for that YouTuber that these people are buying their books, but are they becoming comic book fans? Are they going out and buying other comics that's not being, I don't know, fueled by this guy's YouTube content or whatever, you know?
Yeah,
Like
definitely. And
that's the
Brian has
question.
uh Brian has a good point in there too about like, you know, with kids today, like you hand a kid a comic book, right? And it's so like a kid like just looks at it like it's like this archival thing. Like they don't, because they're into video games, they're into like their
Yeah.
phones, you know. Handing them a comic is like handing them like an old people's like,
Like a
you know what I
vinyl
mean? Like
record.
yeah, they just don't get it.
Like, what is this old man stuff?
Yeah, right, you know. And I think that's a lot to do with like, I think comics biggest problem is they aren't where kids are. Like the distribution isn't there.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, comics were everywhere. Like they were in every department store, they were in every drugstore, spinner rack.
Yeah.
They were around. Like so you eventually would look through them, or you know, you would walk by them all the time and they were there. And now the only place you can get them is a comic store if you can find one near you, you know? And
Yeah, like yeah, I used to go down to Gabriel Brothers, the clothing store, and they would have
like the 3-packs. Remember the 3
yeah,
packs?
yeah, it was like a 3 or 5 pack and it
Yeah,
would be
they
so
don't do
much
that
money.
anymore.
And gosh, it was always full of like 90s Image comics or G.I. Joe or something
Yeah,
like that. I always got
right.
I got so many of the same comic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
They always hide that middle one you couldn't see was something awful. It was always.
I'd be sitting there trying to like sneak it in, like, come
Yeah,
on,
me
what is
too. I
that?
was always trying to like peel it back so I could at least try to see the corner box or something. But yeah, the middle one was always awful. But yeah, I think that's the major problem with comics is the visibility thing. If they were around where people are, they might have a better chance of snagging a new reader, you know, because so many readers started off by just buying a random comic on a spinner rack, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. To me, that's the problem. But, you know, you figure with the movies being what they were, although they're kind of dying now, but like the movies never turned anybody into a reader as far as I could tell.
Well, I don't feel like they tried.
No, they didn't, you know?
That's the sad part. You'd think they'd be trying so hard to tie it in to create readers and
Yep. You know, and someone was telling me one idea, and I thought that would be cool, was if they had like a little kiosk at the theaters when something came out, you know, and had like whatever that, you know, whatever that character was, like a bunch of their best books there or something.
Yeah. Or maybe even just like have like a, gosh, I remember getting a Batman comic. They called it like 10-cent Adventures or something.
Yeah, I
It's this
remember
real
that.
small,
Yeah.
like thin book. Like have something like that, but for the characters in the movie, and just hand them out for free.
Yeah,
or for real cheap,
definitely.
just to the
And
kids.
if the one person read it and went to their comic store, that was a success.
Yeah,
You know?
that would still be a success. And then that person would come back, buy comics, they'd go watch the movies, they'd become a dedicated fan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just yeah, I don't know what that magic bullet is, but like I think visibility is a huge one, because you know, if they don't even have the option to like not read it, you know, or see it, you know.
Yeah.
If you give them the option, at least it's out there, you know, and you tried, but you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. So but it's just going to continue to shrink and shrink.
So they say to me, I don't know where you have that a reference to the Soul Ion and Dunkel Ziffer at the sauna. He says, I don't know where you have that idea from. We're close, but not that close. All right. So Dunkel Ziffer was saying that I need to come over to Germany. So maybe there we go. I'll come over and we'll be the Three Stooges. We'll go to the bathhouse.
Yeah,
We'll go together, all wrapped up in just our towels.
Yeah, right.
It's okay. It's okay. Soul's saying the Blast Beat Industries, he says, that depends on how you define working out. Some creators are successful enough at it that they keep it going. Others not so much. Maybe not attracting new readers that much. And then he says, since it's a dated medium and youngins are usually more into other things, and you do have to show some interest or have someone who introduces you.
Yeah, I agree with them. I think conventions help a little bit though too.
Yeah.
Like, even the one we do, like the first and second year, I would go online and read people's reactions to the show, because we're in an area of we do the show in an area of Massachusetts where most of the local people love to come to the convention, but they're not necessarily the type that would travel an hour to go to like one of the bigger ones at Boston, you know? And I used to read like their comments, and like, I remember one, someone was saying, "Oh, I'd love the show. We brought the kids and they both picked out a couple comics that they wanted to read." And
That's really good.
yeah, stuff
I
like
mean,
that you read, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's what I wanted to happen, And
Yeah.
whether that went on to be more with those kids or not, I don't know, but at least
I
it
think
started,
Yeah, I think cons are a good, like you said, example of that, because like someone like my friend Bridget there, she's always looking for places to take her boys, to get
Yeah.
them out. She likes taking them out of the house and going places, doing stuff,
And the kids
And-
love seeing the superheroes and the cosplayers, and
yeah,
they think it's the real character, which is kind of
Mhm.
fun, But like, also the best thing about cons is a lot of those dealers sell 50-cent books or
yeah,
half price trades. It's real easy to pick something up and and get started at conventions, so
yeah.
or checking out an indie person in their books,
Yeah,
so.
that's how my brother's girlfriend, her younger boys is interested in comics. He likes Wolverine and Hulk, and so I went down there and picked up like some 50-cent comics that was set in there of Wolverine, and was like, "Here you go." I handed them to her, and I said, "Here, take those, and let him see what he thinks of them." Yeah.
Yeah.
So she said he read them and he liked them. So I was
good.
like, "All right,
That's
good.
great. Yeah.
That's good to hear."
Yeah, definitely. That's how you start it. Once you catch that little, spark in the kid,
Mhm.
they'll be with it for a while,
Yeah. Let's see. Soul says Chris backs without reading too. Phil's books, for example. To be fair, though, I too have several books that I've received and not read yet, but I work through them one by one. All right. Now, Phil's books. I have read his first Lost Pages book. I read the first Lost Pages. I just ain't read the other one yet. I'll get around to it, and that's because Phil's always getting after me about reading his book. So the more he gets after me, the less I'll read, just to spite him and be petty.
He's gonna let you do it on your own, right?
Pale Rider's back. Sugar. I am not the father. Be quiet, Pale Rider. He's starting up with some in channel jokes here or comments here. The stories. I'm not the father of that baby.
Oh, there's.
Oh my gosh, in jokes. He says, when comic book movies were most popular, the comics didn't even resemble what was shown on screen anymore. If kids enjoyed Thor and their parents would buy them a book, it was a woman with cancer. That's true.
That was huge. Yeah. I remember that. Like, people were complaining about that, 3 years ago, and it's still happening, I think, on most of those. It's just it makes zero sense,
Yeah, like I seen what was it? I seen that Doctor Strange, they had what's her name, Clea being the sorcerer. It's like, well, you've got him in the movies. Why would you have her in the
it
books?
makes zero sense,
It's going into the sugar. Oh, great, more of it. That's what
those are more inside jokes, right?
Yeah. Amy's Birdhouse says reading increases IQ in a way that movies don't, and megacorps like Disney want us all to be stupid. I agree with that completely. Yes. They just want us to turn our brain off and look at the fancy lights, special effects.
Yeah, I'm glad I just saw the other day, like Bob Iger, the new CEO of Disney, talked about um, pulling back on both Marvel or all their brands in Disney, pulling back and doing quality over quantity. I was like, thank God. I mean, that's what's killing all those franchises. You just throwing shit out there.
Yeah, I mean it's constant Disney Plus shows or movies
Oh
or
yeah,
this or that. Just boom, 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 boom.
they have a show on Disney Plus. The second that show ends, the next show is
Yeah,
ready to
there's
begin
another
the
one.
following week, and it's like that cannot be good for quality.
Yeah, and then on top of it, like, oh, you're gonna watch this movie? Well, I hope you watched this show because if not, you're not gonna
Right,
know
your
some of it.
entertainment
Like,
shouldn't be a chore, you know. it's
yeah,
just
it's like, come on, it's become a checklist. Okay, I
yeah,
better watch this.
seriously.
I better watch
Like you got to
that.
watch this before I watch this, you know. Yeah.
What did Chris just say? He likes taking his boy out? No, no, no. I said Bridget takes her boys out. Gosh dang it, Pale Rider! Stop that. Now, come on. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. There you go. Did you bring over some mad cow disease for the barbecue contest? Exactly. Exactly.
That's great.
He must be already starting his drinking this morning. He's being very friendly today, so he must be already on the sauce. How dare you?
Barbecue.
He says the barbecue contest isn't over. Still here, just waiting on the ribs to cook. Been drinking for Yep, I knew it. He's already been drinking.
Barbecue contest sounds amazing.
I know. I'm kind of hungry now.
Right?
Oh my. I'm missing out on some good barbecue.
That's
awesome.
my.
But folks, for those who are tuning in with us and for those who watch the replay, I know I have not been doing these Saturday shows that often, so hopefully we'll get some people on the replay. We don't have as many people watching as we normally do, but I'm sure they'll tune in later. Go check out Mighty Mascots. It is a book I give the thumbs up to, and I recommend.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's like Keith says, it's a great all ages book. Personally, if I had some young boy, a son or something, I would definitely be getting it for him. And I like the little additions, like the lunchbox, the cereal box, and everything. I think those are nice little touches.
And the other thing I wanted to caveat, because when people hear the word all ages, they immediately think like that YA crap that they're dishing out for kids nowadays. And like when I say all ages, I mean like all ages in the way Spider-Man was all ages in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
Or the template I often use for violence in my book and storytelling is Batman the Animated Series. So something like that, which is all ages, but is actually a really good comic based adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of what I'm going for in tone, like that Batman animated stuff. So basically, if you grew up with comics in the 70s and 80s, that's what Mighty Mascot is. It's kind of fun in that way,
Yeah, that is a good point though. Like they've kind of ruined all the term all ages, because
they have,
like you said, like everybody thinks of like these really bad stuff.
Everything's dumbed down, like like there's like the YA novel section. It's like when I was a kid and I was reading books, I was reading Stephen King, like you know what I mean, like I wasn't reading like Stephen King light with like Hunger Games or something, like I always feel like the YA stuff has great premises, but they tell stories in a ridiculously dumb way.
It's like they're trying to handle it. It's like, stop doing that. Like I as a kid never wanted to be handheld.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to be an adult. Like that's what I aspired to be, was to grow up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I found comics, because like I would watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and then I would go read the comics, and the comics felt more adult than the cartoon did, because people would die and stuff, and like
You had
Spider-Man
adult
would be
moments.
affected by something, you know, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and but at the same time, like it was still, it didn't go real adult into it. Like it wasn't showing nudity or real violent, hardcore violence. So yeah, it was all ages. It had
Yeah,
serious
exactly.
themes, but it was still kid friendly.
Yeah, exactly. And
And it's
that's what
visuals.
I feel like comics kind of got away from, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying to basically pay homage to the stuff I grew up with, you know, and that I love. So that's what Mighty Mascots is.
So saying to Amy's Birdhouse, yeah, he says another good example for that is that they have to spell out everything in movies nowadays. You can't make your own conclusions or thoughts anymore. Plus, there's only one right answer. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that either.
yeah.
I like
I agree
movies
with
that
that.
leave you with something to chew on when
Mhm.
it's over, you know, or something to discuss. You're like, oh, wonder what they meant by that, or you know, that stuff, you know.
What's Pale Rider saying now? Sugar takes his boys out at the bathhouse. Oh my gosh. Pale Rider, you're just jealous I didn't offer to go to the bathhouse with you. That's all that is.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I do like the old style look of the lunchbox.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love coming up with like little things like that. I wish I could. It would cost too much, but I would have loved to make a thermos. I would have loved to like do everything on the side, you know, like designs on the side and the back, and just like those lunch boxes we grew up with, you know.
Mm-hmm. Follow Keith when I was a kid, Gleason.
Yeah, that's true. I'm very very immature on there. I am not my age for sure.
So I might have to get me a t-shirt.
Yeah, I even love that part of the mascots, the bull call, like the old Avengers roll call, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. So with my mascots, your plan is to just kind of keep doing it until what? Until there's no more interest, or
either that or maybe I become uninterested in it, but I don't think I will. I mean, I think there's a million mascots I can turn into villains, you know. There's there's a lot of stuff, a lot of potential there, you know. And in the books, I'm like at the end of like issue 6, I started building more like subplots the way Spider-Man used to and things like that. So I definitely want to keep building the universe up and adding, you know, maybe changing the roster. Maybe got to have the inaugural issue where the whole team splits up, you know, do things like that, you know. Just follow like the old comics we loved and like how they, you know, used to do things like that. Maybe have a couple characters go on a solo adventure, you know.
Yeah, we got, look at this series catch-up bundle. You're getting all 9 issues. That's a lot of pages, and for only $40. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and I think I threw in you get any perk that was unlocked, and you get I think on that one you get the mini prints for issues 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, it's definitely a pretty good deal. And we added, this is the first campaign I did digital too, like, and I noticed that digital has been kind of hot on this, you know. People have been getting digital, so
yeah, you can get all 1 through 9 for $20 digital.
Yeah, and I originally discounted that because I was like, it's my own personal bias. I don't like digital, so like,
Yeah,
I was like, that means everybody doesn't like digital, you know. But no, it's not true. Like people get digital when, you know, especially overseas when the shipping cost is so high and things like that. So
yeah, I've had to hear about the shipping costs from like Seoul and them over there in Germany.
Yeah,
how bad it is. It's crazy.
Crazy now. Yeah, it's nuts. So it's something you got to think about reality of with campaigns nowadays, you know.
I might have to get that T-shirt. Then I can wear it on stream. Oh, look, there's Bristolian Dave.
Hey, Dave. I think he's one of the chats I'm in, I think.
He says, all right, me babbers.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, geez. That's I didn't need to know all that, Dave. Hang on.
Funny but true.
I don't need to know what you do in your off time, Dave. Oh Lord. But let me stop sharing here, and I'll bring up the your fancy website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This Reckless Sidekick Production.
Yeah, that's a lot of my older books on there too.
Yeah. I want to show, where was it? Go down here, back to the Mighty Mascots here. I like that. That's kind of cool cover there.
Yeah, I love that one. I wanted to do the video game villain. I wanted to do video game characters as villains. So I thought that was fun.
I thought that was a fun little change there.
Now that the 100-page giant, that's just a reprint of issues 1, 2, and 3, but we put a new cover on it and came out pretty good. I still have a bunch of the alternate issues that I'll probably, once they sell out, I'll probably just create my own new cover box or corner box and just print them on my own and that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. Soul says not only shipping. When it arrives, we sometimes have to pay customs fees on top now.
That's right.
Seems like daylight robbery, but what can you do?
When I do that, I try to mark it as a gift, but I know that can be kind of problematic too sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's what I try to do whenever I send anything to, like, say, Sim over in Canada. I'm like, oh, it's a gift, so that way he doesn't get completely screwed or something.
Yep.
To try and prevent some of that. Brush with danger.
Yeah, that's actually that's a Jack Kirby thing. So you've read the early issues, right? You said.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Crest team or the Crown team was like an homage to the Crest team of the 70s, and these were these old commercials that Jack Kirby did the animation for. That are awesome. If you ever look them up, you'll instantly see the Jack Kirby influence. If you look them up on YouTube. And I wanted to so that was my way to pay homage to Jack Kirby a little bit, is to turn these advertising icons that he made into villains. So those are fun. If you ever watch it, I think you can. There's someone on YouTube has all the commercials. You can watch them all in a row. They're like 5 minutes worth of Jack Kirby awesomeness, And he drew like these cavity creep creatures that they almost look like what are those creatures that they look like I can't remember. Not the deviants from Eternals, but they look like almost like mud men. I want to say like
the lava guys from
kind of like the lava guys. And in one of the commercials, you can see him pointing, and it has like that Jack Kirby where he has that hand out like this, And it was just like it's so awesome. That stuff's great.
Because that was I think my first Thor comic had him fighting
or were they called like the mindless ones or something?
Yeah, mindless ones.
I might be wrong on that. They were either I'm getting confused with the Mole Man creatures too from Fantastic Four. Were those called oh my god, I'm losing my memory. It's just I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look them up on the side here and see if I can find them. But
because there was the mindless ones. Those are a thing. I remember those. They had I think little fat stumpy things with one eye or something.
Yeah, they were like the underground creatures.
Yeah.
No, they weren't like that, but maybe they were the mindless ones. Let me say mindless ones, Marvel. Let me see if that's more like the mindless ones. If you look up mindless ones on Marvel, that's what the cavity creeps kind of looks like.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember them.
Now, if you look up cavity creeps, Jack Kirby, and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Cavity creeps.
But if you ever want to see animated awesomeness of Jack Kirby, watch those old Crest
Oh
commercials.
yeah, okay, yeah, I do see the.
Do you see the similarity there?
Yeah.
Isn't that
The
great?
cavity
Yeah.
crest.
Yeah, watch those sometimes. You'll get a kick out of them. They were
You'll have
great.
to.
And
Oh, there's Sim.
Good morning.
hey, dude, what's up?
I'm doing good. Woke
Morning.
up late.
It's past morning.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were up a little late last night, but nothing crazy. I think I was in bed by midnight. But
Yeah, I went to bed around like 5.
oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, that's a little late.
Usually I wake up, but not today. Today my
Were you
phone
playing
didn't wake me
games
up.
or watching movies?
No, working. But I'm
Oh,
working and watching
working.
movies.
Oh my god. You're an overnighter too, huh?
Let's just say I can't stop when I get going.
Gotcha.
when you get in the zone, when you're drawing, like you can spend like hours trying to get in the zone, but when you're in it, I don't stop until I fall asleep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's that intense concentration where the time doesn't matter. Yeah. I hear you, man.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Yeah. work till you collapse.
Push it to the limit.
Yeah,
It'll be better.
Exactly. That's awesome.
So how you guys doing?
Good.
Mighty
Good.
Mascot. Yeah, I remember that book.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, we I had a campaign going for a little while and hoping to have it at the printer by the summertime here, so I could get the next 3 issues out to everybody.
Yeah. Dave says Mighty Mascots is such a cool idea.
Oh,
It
thanks,
is.
Dave. Appreciate that.
Like after seeing your book and everything, I was like, why have I never seen something like this before? Like a mascot, superhero team or something.
Yeah, I
was
know.
like,
There is some things out there, but nothing like
It does
because
sound
when
like
I
it
came
should
out
be
with
a
the
Saturday
book,
morning cartoon or Adult Swim.
yeah, that's what that's what I'd love for the ultimate goal of this book to be like a cartoon for everybody, but done in that like fun Saturday morning kind of way, But there is like when I came out with the book, people were telling me, oh, there's this other series that's similar, and I couldn't find many things that were like super popular that that were like this, like this title. I do like that concept of taking like Captain Crunch and making him a superhero,
And then Soul says, Keith, marking it as a gift works if it doesn't look suspicious, like a normal sized package, but everything that's a bit out of the ordinary, they might go, that's not a gift.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's true. So I guess you got to think about what you're sending.
But the thing is, you have to keep it in this mind. Like it was the actual mailing system, like the post office that told me, because they've been dealing with crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is not a sell, so you're not selling. You're not charging taxes by item. Right, so you're not selling an item. It's a donation, and people are hoping to get something back. So when you do the gift part, that's where it entails in. So you put the pricing of what it would cost you to replace, like more like if it costs you like $3 or $5 to print or something, this stuff, you put it like $10 to $15 value, not the price that people paid. It's like I said, it's not a sell. And don't forget to check the book part, because the book are also tax free in many places. So that's when you ship, if your value is below 25, they won't be charged any taxes.
Gotcha. Okay. That's good to know, because I know I do have some international coming up when I fulfill this campaign. So that's what I'll do. I'll
make sure to file that international paper, and that's when you say the book, and it's a gift, because it's a reward. It's not a purchase. It's not like you sold.
Yeah. Plus, I like doing that in general for the overseas backers, because I don't like to get them whacked with more fees if I can help it.
Yeah.
If they were already nice enough to back the book, why would I want to throw more on top of them?
That's why you kind of try to balance it out.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why most people charge like a regular $10. So like it may be an extra $2 or something, but that goes to cover for everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You're
true
trying
because
to
you
balance it
get
out,
the
yeah.
overage from that, and then you can kind
Yeah.
of justify it. Yeah.
And you hope to sell some digital, because to me that's how I used to see it. I used to see the digital as the shipping padding money,
Gotcha. Yeah.
because there's no production, right? You're not selling, so that money goes to shipping, first to shipping. And there's some people that will come buy the freaking physical. Like I used to like I gave it away with a tier or something like that.
Okay.
Right? The guy bought the tier that the digital what's coming with, and he went to buy a digital, and I'm like, dude, you already have it. Yeah, and I'm just giving you money for extra shipping.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I like it. Awesome.
That's how I'm trying to see it, and
Yeah,
that's how you can balance it out a little bit. So
yeah,
with
that
Yankee
works.
vampires,
Especially, I'd say anybody out there watching that's going to do a campaign, think about that stuff, because it is huge. It will impact you,
well, I was kind of forced to check into it with my first campaign, Blood Hunt, because it was like I got funded, everything was going fine. Then we got the lockdown.
Okay.
Then I couldn't ship outside my country.
Oh yeah.
So I had to get innovative and do a whole bunch of freaking research, and that's when I discovered that when they did the lockdown, small businesses were not affected. So if you open yourself a business account with your post office, you're considered a business. So bulk shipment was still happening the next day.
That's smart.
That's how I figured that. That's how I figured out all that.
That's all lifted though now, right? Is there
it's all lifted, but that's how we got stuck with that tax there, that import tax, that.
Oh, gotcha.
And because of the what they call it, the carbon tax now.
Yeah.
So now every shipping,
whatever the hell tax,
the more the shipping got more expensive. But not just that, is that now they also charge gas.
Oh yeah, they throw everything they can possibly can on there.
So the reason why it's going up and up and up is because it's goddamn gas too. They're charging you gas. So if somebody's not living in, like, they're just like in New York, which would be a big freaking city and not too expensive, like easy access to ship. Well, they live in Indiana, in that little area there where it's away from town. Well, they're gonna charge you extra money because it takes gas to get there.
Of course, they're gonna hit you for everything they can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's freaking insane at this point.
It is. It's awful.
And dude, here in Canada, they started taxing you on resale. Like, if I were to sell you my toaster, I'd have to charge you taxes now.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
And I need to declare that I sold you my toaster and my old TV.
I seen in a paper that like they were wanting people to declare if they sold like drugs or did illegal or if they stole anything to put it on their tax.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not fucking kidding.
Oh my lord!
Like, we'll tax you for everything, but people can steal from you, rob you, and do anything, and they won't do shit. And if you beat the fuck out of them, you might get in trouble.
Yeah, might, right?
Yeah. There's bigger chances here in Canada than in the U.S., but it's still a thing happening in the U.S. at this point.
Gotcha. Yeah, I because I haven't shipped anything in a while, so it's good to hear this stuff.
But keep it in mind. I like to give pointers to everybody. Don't forget, like I said, like it's not a sell. It's not like you're selling it on the your website and charging taxes. So it's a reward, and like it says on the campaign, like you're giving money away to help fund something. You're hoping to get something in return. So that's how most people get away with not having, like, dude, I had somebody send me a book, cost me $60-something to back the guy. He charged me $20-something, right? $25 shipping, right? When it got here, I got charged an extra $57 to get that fucking book. Sorry about the swearing, but it pissed.
Oh my god, are you serious?
And I reached out to him. I'm like, dude, you know that you have to do this. And I'm just reaching out. I'm not giving him shit, right? I'm just going like, dude, I got charged this. I'm giving you a heads up. You need to do this. Oh, that's not true. It's because it's your country. I'm like, no, it's because you didn't do it properly.
Oh my God.
So you can understand. I'm not gonna say the name, but I'm never backing that guy again.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's probably up to the individual creator to like learn that stuff, right?
Yeah, but if somebody gives you a heads up, you don't just go like, it's because you live in Kanatistan. No, dude, it's because you didn't file your shit properly.
Right. Or you didn't learn about how, like how to ship properly. Yeah, exactly.
Now, all your backers are getting that will be international. Like, I'm not the only one. There's other people that are like, dude, I got that book and it cost me an extra $50 something bucks. I'll go, yeah. And then the guy doesn't care. I'm like, well, who's gonna give a fuck about backing you again?
Yeah, I mean, word gets out, right? So like, yeah, I don't know.
But word gets out is like,
was it his first campaign,
like I said,
or was it multiple?
Like I said, I'm not gonna say the name and stuff like that. But there's multiple people, and I know Marinus was one of them that got
even
pissed
though
as
you
well.
you might not say anything, but someone else might,
Yeah, but just to say, you pissed off 25 people that used to back you and are silent about it because they're respectful.
Yeah.
Well, they're not coming back.
Right. You'll never see him again after that,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I don't.
Because me and other people that we talked about it, we're big backers.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I like I'm very like with the whole crowdfunding thing, I'm very like sensitive to the fact that I feel like obliged to help the backer because they took the chance on me, and I don't like taking people's money lightly. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a great responsibility.
It is.
If you take someone's money to, not only deliver them the best thing that you can, but also like, the cheapest and everything,
It's like that friend that believes in you. So it's even better when it's somebody that doesn't even freaking know you.
Right. And if you do right by them, they'll come back for your other stuff, so yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that. It's like one of those things you just you can't just be like, oh, they're giving me this money and it's like, free money, what I mean?
Let's just say this, and as an example, right? I reached out to the guy. If he would not have been a dick or something like that, like big whoop, shit happens because it's your country, blame your country or something.
Yeah, right.
If he would have just got, oh fuck, I fucked up. Thanks for the heads up. That would have been different. Totally different.
Yeah, right. Thing. Like at least acknowledging it, or in a situation like that, I would have tried to give you some money back,
At least say sorry. I fucked up. Thanks for the heads up. I'll try and make it up to you on the next campaign.
Or throw something extra in there for you because you had to pay for it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just take care of you somehow.
A little something, and like send something, or a little merch or from yourself. Like it doesn't have to cost you that much money, but at least acknowledge. I'm sorry. Thanks for the heads up, dude. I'll try and make it up next time.
Yeah. Or like so many people feel entitled, like, oh, it's my money. Fuck you. Go away. Stuff like that. Just doesn't look good. You know what I mean? Just doesn't, and people remember that, so
like Soul says, crowdfunding is a learning experience for both sides of the field of the deal.
It kind of is. Yeah,
but that's one of the things. Like when I started the first blood hunt thing, like I realized that when I was starting to research, that I didn't know shit, like about printing, fulfillment, business, international business, how to do this, how to do that. So I went to take a business course.
Oh wow! Okay.
I took a 2-year business course, like
like
an entrepreneur course and stuff like that. So I went to learn how it works, how to tax credit, how to work things out, and how to get credits and this and get away with
Yeah, makes sense.
Expenses and stuff like that. So it's like one of the things that people used to do with campaigns. They used to put the entire fucking thing in there as income without calculating all the expenses, which is pretty goddamn stupid.
Oh yeah. I save a receipt for everything. The other thing too that people do badly, since we're talking about business tips,
like the revenue is only what's left after expenses.
Right. That and like a lot of people love to file themselves as an LLC, and that's completely unnecessary, especially if you're like a one person unit. You know,
But
if
for
you're
you,
doing
yes.
what's
But
that?
for somebody like you, yes. But somebody like me that's trying to live off his art, you
Oh,
kind of do.
okay. So you don't do it like so. When I
Because I'm self-employed, right?
okay.
So to be able to have all those tax credit and to be treated like a business and put everything in expenses, like and everything in LCS, like a little LCS, a little name company helps. Because like that, I can put my gas, I can put a part of my renting, like the room or something that I'm using. I can, all the conventions,
Yeah, I do
every
all that
expenses
too.
that I do goes into there as expense, reducing the money I make, which is
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's sort of what I do too. Like when
when you
knew
have a
I had
job,
a
when
what's
you have
that?
a job and it's a side thing, I agree with you. You don't need an LCS. Sorry.
Well, what I ended up doing because we have the convention that we run, me and my wife, and I also make money from comics and everything. You know, even though I still work a job. So we went to see our accountant that does our taxes, and he told me like, you know, LLC is unless you have employees, it's not you don't really need it. But like he told me to do a business certificate, so we filed to get a business certificate, and then I keep all my receipts like you do, and then
But I think we're talking about the same thing because I think here it's we don't call it LLC.
Oh, okay,
It's a
gotcha.
personal business thing, so it's the same principle as what you're saying. It's like
And you can open
it's
up an
my name.
account under the business. And
Yes, I
things
can
like
open an
that.
account
Yeah.
under the name business. There's a business name, but it's on my name. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, you probably have the same thing that I do then,
Yeah.
like because LLC is very different from what he was telling me. It seemed like LLC seemed to be if you had employees and there was a chance like someone could get hurt or something, you wanted to protect. You want like them to sue the business, not you, and
But
that
yeah,
was the whole reason to have the LLC.
that's usually incorporated here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's the same thing but different
Yeah.
semantics.
There's,
But
there's a few differences between Canada and the US, but it's pretty similar. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So we have the same thing basically, and
Yeah.
we do the same thing. We write off parts of our like my whole
It's a
basement is
personal
basically
business. Yeah.
yep. My whole basement is basically a fulfillment center plus my YouTube studios right here. So, I consider all of
Same
that the
here.
business. Yep.
Same here. I have my 3D printers now that I'm about to start printing soon.
Oh, nice. That's
'Cause I'm
great.
waiting
Gonna
for-
start
like I
making
said-
figures.
Yeah, I'm making mini figures. I'm gonna start making action figures soon too.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, I look
I'm
forward
not
to
just a
seeing what
comic
you
book
come
guy.
up with.
I'm also a 3D artist.
Oh, nice.
I worked
That's
on some
great.
movies.
And then you do comics on the side too.
It's technically comics first and everything else second.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Like
Yeah,
I
that's
do
the way you gotta
animation.
be
I
nowadays,
do animation too. So I'm working on the first, not the Merc animated episode.
Oh, cool, man. Yes,
But I'm one
you'll have
guy,
to
so
send me
you
the
can
link when you get it done because I'd love to see that.
I'm one guy, so you can understand it takes time.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Of course. We were talking about that earlier about how like there's only so much time in the day I can dedicate to YouTube, to, doing Twitter, doing newsletters, things like that. You just got to have time to make the comic,
I get it. Like it's one of the reasons why, like, dude, before I used to stream almost every day of the goddamn week before. Like you used to see me on every streams. And there's a point in me when I kind of like burn myself out.
Yeah.
Because you have to work, you have to work, and then you get to a point where you get this, and you're like, okay, I can't do this. I can't stream all the time. I need to freaking do content.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, like streaming's great if you're not in the mood to work on your comic, know. So like that's one of the best time to do it. But I try to do it in a way that like I do all my social media all week, and then I try to have something time on the weekend to work on the comic, so that's what I've been trying to do most of the time, but it doesn't always work out in your favor sometimes, so
no, but it's a hard thing to kind of like level.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
what I hate is like you're like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna promote for like an hour on social media.
Right.
And 3 hours later, I need to stop.
Yeah. And you got to do it. Like if you
I
don't
need to
promote
work.
yourself, no one else is. So
Exactly. It's one of the things I'm teaching the boys. Like one of my younger ones is like, Dad, it's like you're always shitting on me. I'm always shitting on you, so I don't have to when eventually, because so you can start shitting on yourself and get your shit going. He goes, good point.
That's great.
The moment you start shitting on yourself to get yourself moving, yeah, I'll stop.
I love it. Oh, that's great. So where in Canada are you?
I'm in Montreal, Quebec.
Montreal? Nice. Do you do a lot of cons up that way?
I used to do more. I used to even organize one that used to that was called Fantasticon in Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to get up to Canada one of these days to do a convention. Because I love I do a lot of I'm in Massachusetts, so I do a lot of conventions in the New England area. But I'd love to branch out and do conventions in other places.
The big ones to check. The biggest one here is to check out would be the Toronto Fan Expo.
Now, is the Fan Expo up there? Like, I know we have one here in Boston, and it seems to be everything but comics. Is it a little different up that way?
I haven't been there in a few, since before the COVID.
Okay.
But when I used to go there, it was the only one here in Canada that you went.
Okay.
And that you have all the freaking companies. Like you have Top Cow, you have Aspen Comics, you have DC, Marvel having their own.
So they did
stand.
have at least some.
So you have
presence.
you have a lot of presence of comics, but their also main focus is the big stars because they get the big stars, like the movie stars, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, that's part of it now. It seems unfortunate,
but it's better than the one that we have here, which Comic-Con, the Montreal Comic-Con, which turned into a cosplay fest more than anything else.
Yeah, we have that problem in our neck of the woods too. So yeah, I totally get that.
That's why I kind of like I got invested and with the guys to do like something called Fantasticon, and the Fantasticon in Montreal was technically focused on comics, mainly focused on comics, and when they asked me to join in, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, but we have to. I want our focus to be on independent comics because nobody talks about them here in Quebec, Canada.
It's an afterthought at every convention. Yeah,
and
definitely.
We start like they go, okay, fine. So we started organizing, and for the 3 years that we did them, that I was part of it, dude, we were having like a lot of people coming in, but we used to have 27 to 30 something artists.
Oh wow.
People used to come and go like, dude, this is freaking awesome. We find out stuff that we never discovered. We found out that, the comic book scene here in Quebec is way bigger. I'm like, yeah. But then they decided to go the comics, Comic-Con way, and they wanted to do special deals with cosplays and get more cosplays and get this and get that. And then they died.
Well, cosplay is fine. And I like it. It shows. It's just that when they start catering to it,
it's not a job.
Becomes something else. Yeah,
it's not a job. And the thing is, cosplayers starts hitting them up, going, "I'm gonna host your show if you pay me $2,000."
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the guy went into it, and I'm like, dude, what's the point? Nobody knows that guy. He's just a cosplayer. Why are you investing there? Like, get a comic book artist.
Yeah, and the funny thing is,
it goes, people like cosplay. I'm like, people like cosplay a cosplay is somebody. It's me dressing up as Deadpool and going to have fun. It's not a model, and I'm not a spokesperson. Nobody gives a fudge.
Right, and if you didn't cater to them, they'd show up anyways.
Yes,
that's the kind of thing.
They want the
places
attention.
They want to be. Yeah, exactly. So it's like I never understood that.
It's like, I want to be a supermodel. I want to be a Hollywood star. Please give me attention. And you're like, yeah, okay. But you don't have to pay them. I'm like, dude, at this point, why don't you pay me $2,000 to take care of your freaking shit?
100%, man. I agree with you. Yeah, I used to get mad about it. And but now there's a lot of cosplayers I like that come to conventions and we talk to them and stuff. But before that, when they used to like do their poses in front of our table, and block people from coming to look at your table, that's when it used to drive me nuts. And They still kind of do that a little bit, but
the thing is now they don't promote comic book artists. Like
no.
like you'll go to Comic-Con and like I remember one day I went there, Bisley was there. I'm like, why the fuck you here? He goes, yeah. I'm like, I didn't even fucking know. Like I've seen like I used to see that guy often, right? Like
yeah.
But the thing is, I'm like, they didn't advertise you? He goes, I don't know. And there was like, I'm telling you, it was freaking hilarious. But the thing is, they're not trying to get you. You got to a point where everybody's telling you that they're broke.
Yeah.
That they took a ticket just to go see an actor. So the actor costs $250 to $350 to get a picture and then have it signed.
Yep.
And they're broke.
Yep. I was saying
Like,
that earlier to Chris here about that.
People used to wait all year round going, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna save some money. I want to when the con comes, I'm gonna go there and get some deals, and I'm gonna get some discounts, buy an entire set. I don't know, of action figures or something. Then you're like, you get there, and now they're charging you more than in store.
Yeah,
it's not a deal. You're trying to negotiate a deal. You go, oh, okay. If I grab the full set, am I getting a deal? No, I can't because I have to pay my table. You're like, I have to pay my ticket.
It's so true. The and the other fact,
it's a vicious cycle that they're shooting themselves in the goddamn foot.
Yeah,
and it's obvious that they don't give a fuck about you because
you got to pay if you buy
not only
food, all of
you're not making money anymore, but they also doubled the price of your table.
Yeah, yep. That's why I love one-day shows. I was saying that to Chris because one-day show
but that's what Fantasticon was. It was a one-day show.
Yeah, perfect. People have to spend all their money that day instead of like if you're doing a 3-day show. A lot of them go there with the 3-day pass and they don't spend any money till Sunday.
It's not just that. It's like for somebody like you that goes there, or as a fan or a person that sells or whatever, you have to freaking buy a room, rent a room.
Oh yeah,
expenses
food,
and
all that stuff. Yeah, it's
like I remember the first time I went to Toronto. Dude, I'm a single dad, so babysitter.
Yeah.
Gone for an entire weekend. I don't have a car, so use a bus.
Yep. All that money.
Yeah, got all the way to Toronto.
Yeah, there's no way you're
hotel
making
room,
anything.
expensive as hell.
Yep. Yeah, no, people don't consider it's funny, a lot of creators they'll say oh, I made my table back and then some. It's like, did you factor in all that other stuff? And most of them don't,
No, because you're trying to get your win to motivate you.
Exactly. Well, a lot of the times it's going to these shows and you lose money. I don't think a lot of them you make money.
But that's one of the things they're trying to tell you. You shouldn't see it as making money. It's like free advertisement, or it's not fucking free.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's a bad way to look at it. I mean, unless you're living at home and you have zero expenses, then it's fine. You lose money like that. But
I remember I used to pay $75 to $100 a table back with Comic-Con, the Montreal Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I used to get there, and you used to have Mark Fabrizio. And by the way, if you ever watched the stream, what's up, dude? Guy was awesome. Okay, he used to be the guy that used to part of the organizers of Montreal Comic-Con, and he was the one taking care of all the artists, Ali.
Oh, okay.
And dude, you show up there, he'd see you, hey, walk you to your table, bring you a freaking little coffee or water. They treat you pretty sweet. Before the show, they come check up on you, make sure you're fine. If you were alone, they go, do you want a break to go to the bathroom or go do something? I'll take over your table. There's none of that anymore. And the table is now $350. The fuck?
Yeah, that's not cool.
And you don't even get any service. You don't even get nothing. Oh, by the way, I pay extra if you want electricity on your table. Wait, what?
Right? Yeah, I know. They love to throw all those extra expenses there.
All right, now Mo.
Okay, he hasn't said much since I got here neither, but that's because me and Mister, we kind of hit it off here, Keith.
Now Mo, he says Sugar's proven Sip's point about cosplayers not making the best hosts. One, I'm here. That's all that matters. I just got to look pretty. He says he hasn't said a single word since I got here. Now, Mo, before you got here, Sim didn't show up until a little bit before you got here. I carried the stream that whole time, so
Carried.
I want to hear it.
Is that why everybody was snoring in the chat when I got here?
I didn't say I was doing it
Like
well.
So Lion just
He
woke up.
was doing it well.
I did it. That's all that matters.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I agree. I totally agree. But you said carried.
So it's hard to get a word in like 2 hours. Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. Just gotta let him go. Just let him talk.
That's awesome.
But now I can't wait because right now it's like one of the things that I was going to tell you if you want to come to Montreal now. There's something called the Festival Le Festival La BD de Montréal. So in English, it would be the Montreal Comic Book Festival.
Okay.
And it used to be one hell of a place to do because they used to. It's everybody gets in for free.
That's nice. I like when
So
places
the clients
free.
it's free, right?
Okay.
But it used to be in a public park.
Okay.
With how do you call those? It's like big tents, like when you go to a carnival.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How do you call those tents?
Pop tents, like pop-up
yeah.
tents. Yeah.
So it's all this, and you used
Yeah.
to go.
So it's like a street festival, like an art festival.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not a street festival because that's how it turned. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it used to be very condensed in one small park, in one big park.
Okay.
But tent-wise, and everybody was like in the old little tents. So it was not like sometimes you could go there and not find somebody. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was all closed out tents, like not just like a top with wide open in front. It was just a big tent with like 20 people in there or more, and there was multiple tents. Right. What they did though last year is that they changed that. They turned it into a street sale. So now it's downtown Montreal in one of the biggest goddamn street called Saint Denis, where you have all the clubs and stuff like that. And they closed down a whole bunch of whole length of the street, and it's all on the side of the street in the streets.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it was a freaking success. It's huge as hell. There was a whole bunch of people from French into English because before it used to only be French. They used to show up over there. It was French and English. Everybody, the street is all wide open. It was awesome. I'm going back this year.
Yeah, we noticed that too. We did a couple of like those outdoor things that are free, and they did really well for us. So I'm gonna start focusing on those a little more to see.
Yeah, because they don't get siphoned by some greedy people or in charge of an organization that need to pay other people's job. They just go in. It's free. We like comics. Let's go see. Oh, I like this.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's mixed with everything else though too. It's mixed with like art, and so people like kind of, if you have comics, you kind of end up being like a unique kind of oddity there. So it ends up being pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's another thing people can try.
Yeah, I made some sell, and my girl sold an original art. Like she was psyched as hell.
I did not throw Keith under the bus, Mo. You know what I meant. Gosh dang it.
That's awesome.
Late Sim means power nap plus Tim Horton coffee equals nearly unstoppable. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. He's all hopped up on his job, huh?
I love it.
The advertising writes itself. This con is intense.
Yeah, right?
Intense.
Yeah. I love it.
Why is Sim talking about street markets?
Because there's a street market
it's
of
a
books here.
viable option. It's another place to sell comics that people aren't necessarily thinking about,
But it's one of the things, like some people used to go to what they call them again, flea markets.
Yeah. Well, I think if you do those street things too, you got to also invest in you got to want to do it because you're going to need to buy your own table, your own tent and stuff.
No, they supply everything.
Oh, do they supply? Yeah, not around here.
So I get there, and there's the big table,
space.
and then you have the little like protector over you. So if it starts to rain, you can close it down a little bit.
That's cool. Yeah, down here you only get the space, so you have to buy.
Oh no! It's included in the price.
That's
so
nice.
I pay like 300 and something. I get the table. I got everything. You even have a little electricity.
What do they charge you for something like that? Is
about $300?
Okay. That
Canadian.
seems in
Yeah.
line with it. Yeah, that
Which
sounds like,
dude, when I tried it for free, like it was one of my friends that with a guy I used to publish with.
okay.
The guy I used to do Zidane Online, like a book I published some stuff in, and he reached out to me because he knew I stopped doing cons for a while. He
He
goes,
said,
dude,
like, come try this.
He goes, dude, this play we changed, like the festival changed their ways. We're in freaking Saint Denis Street. I'm like, wait, what? He goes, yeah, it's a street sale. Like technically, the entire street's closed and everything. Well, yeah. He goes, I'm gonna come and just say hi. He goes, do you want my table Sunday? I'm leaving early.
Hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, why not? So I showed up there with my girl and Coleman, and dude, we had a blast.
Yeah, dude. Why not? Why wouldn't you? You know.
I remember the two first time I did that festival in the park, I wanted to die. Like I'm not kidding. Like tents.
The weather is always like questionable. That could ruin the experience too. You know. But
so you have a giant tent with 25. Like I know it's called chapiteau in French. I don't know how you call them in English, but it's like a big tent. So you have like 25 people underneath in the summer. Can you understand how quickly it gets really hot and stinky?
Oh
and
yeah,
want to get the hell out.
A lot of con crud and all that fun stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been there, done that. So definitely understand that. That's awesome.
He says we call flea markets car boot sales. Makes more sense.
Car boot sales.
Car boot sales.
I don't get it.
I mean, neither. Unless it's supposed to be like a joke with cardboard.
Maybe.
Who knows? It's who knows? It's Dave.
But that's the thing. Like the thing I was telling you about the Fantasticon used to be like it started as a flea market thing. Then when I joined in, we turned it into a con. And we started renting big like place in Montreal. But then they decided to go full, like I said, invest in the cosplay aspect.
Okay.
And
a lot of people.
I'm not with them anymore.
Well, I think like a lot. So because of the comics have faded so much that they're looking for these other things that will bring people in. I don't necessarily.
I think it's just greed. I think it's more greed.
Yeah, it is a little bit of that too.
Because one of the things is it's a governmental grant. They all get a governmental grant. They have discount, and if you do giveaways and you have those big stars, usually had like here, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing I was told in the U.S. They have to do with lottery and this, and it's entertaining. It's importing like people. It gets complicated, but they get we get stars. We get to take pictures with them. So there's also a service type of thing.
Okay.
And then they start taking pictures with those stars, and then they go sell them for $300 on the website.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It happens around here too.
Hey, remember how many of them during COVID? We're having a special sale on our stars pictures. 50% discounts. Why do you think?
Like, yippee. All right. I don't know. Yeah, people. Yeah, that's a thing.
And it used to cost you what, like $20 to go to one of those things, and now it's like $60 to go to a con.
Yeah, it's ridiculous the prices now.
Like I'm a comic book guy. I love them, and I love to make them, and I don't want to go anymore. Do something, fix it.
Yeah, I told my wife I never would go to any now that I unless I had a free pass because it's like they're not fun. No. They're not fun as a fan anymore. You know what I mean? Like you go as work and I have a good time when I'm there. It's just I would never be like, hey, let me go to this con. Yeah,
I remember going to cons and going like, okay, I made the money for my table. I just made $50. I'm gonna go spend it.
Yep.
You go and look for a quick deal, getting something cool, but there's no deals anymore.
No, sometimes on comics, like you'll find like trades half off, things like that. Yeah. But that's about it.
Trying to get away.
Anything else is jacked up,
Yeah. Like I remember one of the times I went there, I wanted those Danger Girl figurines, and I remember getting a good deal because I bought the entire thing. They're $20. Okay, if I grab all of them, are you going? Yeah, I'll make them for $60. Okay, fine. And you're done. No, that doesn't happen anymore because the guy's going to tell you they even charge taxes now.
Yeah.
They have a paper there and they go, I'm going to have to charge you taxes. You go, dude, you're a seller in a freaking con and you don't have to charge me taxes. No, they do because they want to have that extra money from you.
Yeah, of course.
That's the thing. When you don't have to charge taxes, you charge taxes, that's extra money for you. They're not. Do you think he's going to go declare those taxes?
No, not at all.
No.
That's going right in his pocket, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy con goers too. Let me tell you, like con promoters. I mean, especially they're ridiculous around this area. I've had run-ins with a few of them. They're pretty ridiculous, but I don't know. I imagine that's everywhere, but maybe I notice it more because it's more in a closer, circle around here. There's a lot more,
Yeah. That's all, I'm starting to think about it. Maybe we should freaking start uniting and investing in getting a con that's like one in Canada, one in the US every year.
Yeah, right.
David's
Just
problem
comics.
is Sim that cons needs to put on stuff that makes money. Comics don't make anywhere near as much merch, etc. You say, dude, it never used to be a problem with the comics. The thing is, they don't make money off sales from comics. The cons don't make money from comics. It's the sellers. It's the creators. They're just trying to make more money on the end.
Yeah, like I on my convention, like
I don't have a problem with it. Do it like Fan Expo. Fan Expo has the name that they could do it. They could go this year. We're just doing the stars, and I wouldn't complain because it's Fan Expo. So this year we're doing this year is going to be a Star Trek special. So the main focus of this year is going to be Star Trek shit. And I'm like, fair enough.
That's what they should do. Like,
right?
And just have
Star
Trek
freaking comic on. Should be about comics.
Well, like I was saying, like the convention I run, the only place we make money is, on the admission because all the vendor fees go towards us renting the place, renting tables, chairs, getting a guest, things like that, advertising. And then when the show happens, we make money on the admission that day. And it's usually not a lot, but it's, enough to make it worth doing the show every year.
Mm-hmm.
But where you get the greedy people is they want more than that, They want to be able to retire on what they make at a show,
Exactly. They want to start making $1 million business. So then they start spreading around everywhere. But that's the thing is
everything costs money, So it's
Yeah,
wild.
Fantasticon is the same thing. Not Fantasticon, but Fan Expo. They split things up. So if you're there for the comic book, you go into the comic book section. It's comic books. You want to go to the gaming section? There's a gaming section. It's well done. That's what I'm saying. Fan Expo here in Toronto. I don't know if they're all the same because I've never been to another one. But Fan Expo in Canada, the Toronto one, they know exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going there for gaming, you're in the gaming zone and you're not leaving it. You know what I mean? Like it's
right. Yeah.
Same thing for the comic book part. And if you want to go into the anime, that's another department.
Yeah,
it's all another side of the convention center. It's freaking awesome.
I was not gonna buy a furry suit at a convention for myself. I wasn't even going to buy the furry suit for Trinity because it was too expensive.
It was for the niece. Yeah.
It was too expensive, so I wasn't going to buy it anyway.
How much was it again? $600 or something?
It was like in the thousands.
How?
That was the day. And no, there is no Fursona sugar glider.
They charge you by the
Fursona.
hair? Huh? They charge you by the hair?
The hair? They must have had to have.
This customer went all in. Gosh, Mo. No. I was holding it for a friend. No, there was no fursuit for me. No, thank you.
No Fursona.
No Versada, no fursuit, no nothing. They always come up with these wild tales.
Yeah, but they're kind of inspired by stuff that you said, though. No, let's give them credits.
Well, sure. That don't.
You said something. You've said an old story. We made a joke. Like, it's not out of the ether. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
but they are pushing it.
just saying something's inspired don't mean nothing. It could be the exact opposite of what I said.
You know, I have your back, chat. You know, trying to. You know,
Have your back.
Yeah.
I have Chris's back, but you know, I have yours too. You know, you're not coming out of this out of nowhere. You know, like the red dress thing is not a thing
There's
because
more.
there was never a story like Chris said about it. You know.
Yeah.
Now, are you overdoing it a little bit? Yeah.
Oh, Dave's heading out. So he's got to shoot
What's up, Dave? Later.
based on a true.
Have yourself a
sugar
good Bristolian morning.
Yeah.
Lord. Sugar lets some information sleep, and we investigate to uncover the full truth.
Pretty much. That's how we discovered the toxic thing was, you know, maybe have a baby. That was kind of
No,
weird.
I did not have a baby.
No, but the toxic girl did. So we don't know. Was there a paternity test? I don't know.
They're saying they're going to have somebody showing up wanting a DNA test or something.
I don't know.
Right.
You find you if you got close enough to find out she had a toxic tattoo on her butt, maybe the kid's yours.
Maybe it's not. And you need to shut your mouth. All right. We've been going on for too long. I'm tired. I want to go.
So
to bed.
did we get backers?
No, leave me alone. We didn't get nothing.
Wow.
Go away.
I just wanted to have the dancing chick. I was not even going to ask you to sing anything.
Bullshit. You might not have, but Pale Rider would have.
You're so defensive. What did I do to you?
Everything. Showed up late. And when you did show up, started taking the side of the chat against me, betrayed me.
What do you mean? I'm entertaining the chat and then the guests, and you know, you're just laying down, taking it easy. You know,
Now you're just making excuses.
Making excuses. That's great.
well, we don't call the show the morning roast for
Born in
nothing.
the red dress. Oh my god!
It's not just because I wake up with coffee. It's because we like to roast each other, and the chat roasted us back, and we roast that goddamn chat.
Yeah, man. Got
All
it.
right.
And thank you, chat. You guys roll. We love you guys. Chris won't say it because he's pissed now. You know, sensitive. It's a bit sensitive.
Back your mom.
Enough things today. And yeah, people, go check out Mighty Mascot. Get behind it.
Yes, do go check it out. It's almost to look at it. Only need like what, $22 more to get to 8K.
Mm.
Come
Yeah, I'm
on.
getting close, which
So
is
close.
good, you know.
So
Yeah.
this is for 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, 3 issues. I don't know if I'm gonna do that again going forward. We'll see, because I
Are
I
you
wanna
doing
get
three separated, or you're gonna you're thinking of putting them in one book? Because that could save you a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. I should do that, but no, we'll do 3 separate issues because that's how we've been doing it right along, you know.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's something to think about down the road, though. Definitely.
Because that's what Seven Legions was doing, Beacon, like 2 like floppies, and
No,
he wanted
3
to
in
unlock
one
multiple floppies, and I'm like, he got to a point where he's like, dude, like reach out to your backers, ask them, make a vote, make a poll. Vote.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Do
not
you
a bad
want it in,
idea.
do you
that's
want it
for
in
sure.
floppies, or you want it in one perfect bound with a nice little side, you know, like
Yeah.
on the spine with the name and everything, and that people voted for the perfect bound version.
Why not?
Yep. So
Alright.
and yeah, Soul's right. Go check out Telson and Adverse too. Also funding.
Yep,
And the only chance you have to get that Ashcan and that mini bullet nat, that nat mini comes with a bullet casing because he's that badass.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
And yeah, this I want to make 6 of them. So you're
Okay.
gonna get 6 bullets, and after that, I'm gonna make the gun loader, so you can charge
Oh,
it like
nice.
that's gun. So you can put that. Yeah,
I like
the
that.
barrel.
That's very cool.
And people
That's
are going to
that.
be
It's an
people are going to be
advantage of
shooting
being,
that bullet right into their butt.
dude. Like I said, once they pay for it, they can do whatever they fucking want with that bullet. If they want to shove it up their asses, it's their thing.
That's where it's
There
going
you
to
go.
go.
To me, it doesn't matter because to me, they're gonna have to buy more if they want more. Get it?
The chin roots are going to go right up the bum.
I don't care. So as long as you pay for it, you can do whatever you want with it. Ship it in
Right?
space.
Shoot it in space. There you
You know,
go.
drive your car over it, break it to pieces. Then you cry and you want another one, and I'll go, no, we don't make no more.
No.
No, lemon pledge. No,
No.
no
That's great.
bueno.
No
Alrighty, everybody. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat, and for everybody who watches the replay.
Don't forget to sub, like, and share.
Yes, don't forget
And
if you're new to sub to the channel. It'll
don't
give us a
forget
little
Doodle
like.
and Chill tonight at 7:15. We got Mike Barron coming on. So
Oh,
go sub
cool.
to my channel.
Awesome.
Because I don't just stream with this pretty face here.
Yeah. True. Thanks, Keith,
great.
for sticking
Yeah,
with
thanks
us.
guys
so
for
long.
having me. Really appreciate it.
Just before.
I had fun. shooting the shit. with
Oh
you
my
guys.
gosh, Seb, I'm trying to wrap this up. You hyperactive
I
thing.
know.
This is what happens when you get
Keep
some
your
sleep
fancies
in.
on. We're all good. I just wanted to show this. Oh, god damn it.
Keith wants to get off here. He said we've kept him for too damn long.
No, you're saying that now.
You're saying that?
Okay, just a second. Okay, the camera's not working. Give me a second. Let's fix this. Boom, boom. There you go. Look what came in the mail. I got the proof copy of the print on demand that we have on the website.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
And it's print on demand with Shopify and Lulu Direct, and the quality is pretty good for the black and white, as you can see. And it's a Inkslayer exclusive. It's only on the website. It doesn't say first printing, but it says Inkslayer. And you can get it only on the website. We're testing it out soon. Probably going to test colors, but we have to be innovative and think of different ways of doing business. And I think that having a direct edition after the campaign, that you don't really control the quality of the printing, and it's pretty good. You can sell it cheaper. Shopify has a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, no, that looks good, man.
I was nervous when I tested it, but I was pretty happy with the result.
What are you laughing at, Chris?
Soul says, that coat, put it away.
So Soul's always been picking on the fact that my vampire has a jacket, right? He's like, it's freaking stupid. I'm like, dude, he's an assassin, so I gave him a suit that looks like a stuntman. It looks like somebody that could be a stuntman and a killer. So the guy could fall a 3-flight building. He has a freaking stuntman type of vest, and I gave him the thing.
Blade had a trench coat. He's a vampire, right?
Yeah, Soul's not a fan of the purple trench coat, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't like the purple trench coat, but his best friend does.
Well, it's not for practical. It's for a cool looking character, right? So
Yeah, and the idea that to me, it's kind of like if you have a bulletproof trench coat, that's kind of like useful.
Yeah, I think so.
And you're talking about a guy that wants to be known as the Reaper, so
right. It's gonna produce a specific look,
Yeah, he wants to be
I don't
known
know.
as. That's what I said. Like the
I
guy's
think
an
it's fine.
assassin, and you go, oh, but you should have got the costume after he turned into a vampire. No, he's an assassin before, so he already has that style. He wants that reputation. Then he gets turned into a vampire, and he just ups it up the notch. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
works
instead
for
of
me.
going, oh no, I'm dead. Oh no, I'm a vampire. Woo-hoo-hoo. He goes, oh fuck, new skill sets. Let's get some vengeance, motherfucker. Now I will be the best assassin because I can do this, I can do that. Oh, I can break into a cloud of mist and destroy a werewolf from the inside. That's freaking awesome.
I like it.
And it's So's like my favorite plot hole. Love it. Blue heart. I could do this forever. I know. It's a fun thing we do. He likes to bring up Blood Hunt so I can defend it, and then he enjoys himself. But his best friend is also the biggest fan of Blood Hunt. But one of the biggest fans. So I think it's a personal thing. It's not just me trying to piss off, it's also Dunkel Ziffer.
That's awesome.
All righty. So thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks, Soul, as always, for being in the chat. Sim, thanks for showing up late.
My pleasure.
Hey, better late than never, right?
Next
Yeah,
time I'll
thanks.
be on time. I do that. I don't know. I woke up, I remember waking up and just like, oh, it's Saturday. I don't have it. And then I get up and I'm like, no, I think we had a stream.
Okay. And I should have guests for next Monday and Wednesday. I just got to get them all finalized and put in and everything. I've reached out to a bunch more people. I just got to get the days down and everything. I'll do that today sometime, maybe after I wake up.
Yeah, because the regular shows is Mondays and Wednesday usually. The Saturday, Friday, it's sometimes. So that's why today I was late. I'm sorry, Keith. But at least I made up for it, right?
Started doing this.
Yeah, I think so.
I just started doing these Saturday ones. Normally we have more people tuning in, but a lot of them probably didn't even know I was doing it, yet. They probably haven't got used to the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks Keith for sticking around so long.
Yeah, no, I had fun.
And we'll see you all in the next one.
All right, guys.